And we're live. Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey Charlie, the War Game Chat, our monthly show on YouTube. I'm your host, Mo from Mo's Game Table, and joining me are my co-hosts, everybody's favorite Gimp with the Limp, the Gimpy Gamer, Nate Rogers. How's it going, Nate?
The glorious day in the court, man.
Is it really that good?
Great.
Like eat the microphone. Worse than Howard Stern. Everything's good?
Yes, man. It's good.
All right. And the wargaming wizard from Oz, Kev Sharp, who's now getting his house built, which is great news. How's it going, Kev?
It's going great. We got sticks and concrete, so it's all good.
Nice.
No complaints.
Nice. That's a good Christmas gift. You're that much closer to the world headquarters of the big board gaming getting built.
I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody. This is our final show of the year. We will not be doing another one until January, and this will close out our third year with the show. So wanted to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas and thank you for watching these 3 years. And throughout the course of the show, we'll be giving away some games. We've got a good wide assortment of stuff to give you guys. So we'll spread the Christmas cheer. Don't know if everything will get there in time for Christmas at this point, but we'll try. We're also going to expect that, well, we should expect that the weather will probably play into that as well, because we got a giant ass blizzard coming in from Siberia that's going to go from Canada all the way down into Mexico. This thing is going to be insane.
Yeah, it's huge. 21. It'll be 21 degrees where I am at the moment.
Oh yeah,
we had to make contingencies for pets while we're out of town.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. I mean, they were talking about how there were some of the models were showing the temperature gradients, and as the temperatures move through, the cold front moves through, it's going to be with wind chill -19 in Oklahoma City. Meanwhile, it's going to be 60 degrees in Waco. So an 80-degree swing. That is huge.
Wow.
So yeah, we're going to be potentially below zero here in North Texas. So it should be interesting. We'll have to see.
Any of that hitting near the East Coast, or is that all just sitting in the center?
It's going to swing all the way through, and then it's going to hit the East Coast too. You haven't been paying attention to the weather, have you?
Yeah, I don't know. Hell no. I don't care. I look outside my door. That's it.
It's so wrong here that, you know, I'll look at the weather and I'll say to Kelly, my wife, I'm like, honey, we better rug up today. It's going to be cold. It's going to be like 45. And then it's 68 or something like that. So we've just given up. And then our neighbor sent us a text. Hey, are you all, you ready? Are you ready for the winter apocalypse?
It's gonna be cold. It's not gonna be Ice-mageddon like it was a couple of years ago, though, where we had blackouts like all over the state. At least I hope it's not gonna be. But
well, your state isn't used to that. You know, you don't get that type of weather usually.
True.
So this throws you off a little bit, man.
It's true.
Although where we're going, it's going to be cold.
Look at Brian. He's saying up in Pennsylvania it's going to be -17.
-17. Wow.
Well, up in Montana and North Dakota, they're talking very dangerous conditions. -49, which is that's like frostbite in 10 minutes weather. So you got to be careful. So if you live in those areas, please do be careful. Layer up and stay inside as much as you can. Don't go outside. If you do, minimize your exposure outside and just be safe.
Am I on the wrong channel? I thought this was a war game channel. I feel like I'm on the weather channel. And coming next,
well, we're talking about the weather.
Tropical Storm Sharp.
Tropical Storm Sharp. It's a notoriously bad storm.
Notoriously bad. It's an asshole of a storm.
It's a notoriously asshole storm. Oh boy. And then we got hey, there's one thing. I don't think you noticed this before, but look at this. Fabrizio in the house.
Wow.
He said he was going to stay up for a little while. I said to him, Merry Christmas, comrade. And that's how it all kind of devolved from there into a whole true socialist Christmas. And then he said, socialist Christmas, 1 extra cup of coffee, 1 cookie, and 3 liters of vodka.
Wait, what time is it for him? And it like 6 hours ahead?
Yeah, he said
6 or 7,
yeah.
Well, John too. I mean, it's like morning time for him. He's on the other side of the planet.
Yes, he is over in the Philippines, although he was here in Connecticut last month for Expo. So it was,
and here's to that.
Yes, we played a game, and it was the Kaiser's High Seas Fleet, which is coming out next year. Gilbert Collins' game, which was a pretty neat game, and it was a prototype, so it was still in the testing phase. But I think it's pretty much done. But
right. Didn't Gilbert release an ACW game?
He did not. Are you talking about the 1862 Brothers at War?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I thought that was someone. Yeah, I thought he did a game, and I felt like it didn't do as well as he wanted it to, and he got kind of jaded. So I'm glad to see he's back. Is my point.
Yeah, no, the one he did was America at War. That was the other one that came out earlier this year.
Oh, okay.
War for America. I'm sorry, War for America.
Yeah, I don't know. That was
the Revolution. Yeah, about the Revolution.
Cool.
So
okay, cool, very cool.
Damn, that Stalingrad weather. Way to bring it back on wargaming topics.
Good job, Tim. Good job, Tim.
And then, yeah, he says, no, Gilbert Collins did not do ACW. So, and it is 9 a.m. in the Philippines. And Jeffrey saying he's got some serious game playing coming up this week, which is good because we should be having, everyone should be having long weekends, I would expect. Or most people should be having long weekends. So there'll be family too, which will kind of mess with wargaming plans. But for those who are not going to have all of those things to go to, they'll have plenty of chances to wargame, which is one of the things I'm doing. I'm going to kind of put myself on hiatus for a little while and stop doing videos, although I'll probably still do a couple of videos while I'm on hiatus. But I want to try to take a break and just play some games for a change. What about you guys? What are your plans?
I always take the week of Christmas off. I have to for, the kids, and we had to take them to go see Santa today. They had a lot of fun with that, which was actually kind of nice that they all smiled. None of them cried. That was a first. Kenna, she actually ran up, like when we got them set up and it was time to go up to Santa, she ran out to him, gave him a big hug, and everybody's doing the aw. But we kept them, calm, got the picture. The baby was the biggest concern. And for some reason, she decided right in the middle of taking the pictures that she wanted to play peekaboo. So like they would take the picture and the flash would go on and she kept putting her hands over her face. So Santa's sitting there trying to like pry her hands away from her face without pulling on her too hard. And that was making her grumpy. So it's this, how it is with kids. You had the balancing act to get it, but we finally got a picture. I'm telling you, if you guys haven't seen it, go to Cabela's, screw them all. Right? Don't go to see the mall Santa. You got to pay there. It's something like $50-$60 now just to get a picture. Cabela's does it for free. Wow. They got a nice Santa set up. You get a nice little setup picture. Awesome. They got candy for the kids. They got a little shooting gallery with toy bows and arrows and stuff. It's a whole thing, but you got to think they're making a lot of money because the people who are bringing the kids in buy other crap while they're there. Like it's become a tradition for us that we take the kids there, get their pictures done, and then we let them pick out little stuffed animals as extra treat. So we spend more than we would have spent paying for pictures, but Cabela's is making all that money.
So when you get these stuffed animals for them, if they act up, do you mount the animal's head on the wall afterwards?
I would. She won't let me do that. She's all on this, we can't make the kids cry thing.
I think that'd be awesome.
Make them cry. That's that whole good part about being a dad. I get to punish them.
Yeah, I agree with John here. $50 or $60 to take a picture with Santa. It's like, you want to pay me $50, I can be a fat man in a suit too, and you can take a picture with.
That's crazy.
That's no joke.
That's insane.
The last time, it was like, I want to say 4 years ago, that we went and saw Santa at the mall. I want to say it was at least $60, and that was the base package. They had all these different levels of pictures.
You have like 11 more kids now, don't you?
I don't know. I think most of them are mine. I got to check. We're waiting on the blood test just to make sure. But
he's building out his platoon.
Yeah, I got my fire team. I'm set. Although my meanest one is my girl, so it's kind of a problem. She's kind of the take charge of all the kids. Oh, and it's kind of funny. I got to give it to her. She's smart. She doesn't do anything for herself anymore. Her younger sister is 3. And every time the older sister wants anything, she has the younger sister come tell us. So she's constantly coming up to us and she's like, Kenna wants juice. Kenna wants this. Kenna wants a snack. Kenna wants some chips. And we're like, Kenna, she's not your servant. And the younger girl's like, I like to share. And we're like, no, you're her servant. You're like her slave. Stop doing this. It's cute when they're this age, but this is not going to last. They're going to go to war over this eventually. So we're trying to nip it in the butt now.
See, now what news hour is that, Tom? Shut up. Go read your Greek book. So what about you? What's your plans for the weekend, Kev?
Let's see. So we hit Austin Christmas Eve, come back Christmas afternoon, and then I'm not sure I'm going to get too much gaming in or anything like that. I do have Ranger out. I was going to try and pull a quick solo mission, but I'm not sure.
That old school one?
Yeah, I like that game. It's a good little solitaire game. It's nothing too mentally taxing, and I'll read some rule books and things. And I was just thinking today, actually, that I have no idea what I want to play next year, and I probably need to put some thought into that.
Kev says, or he says, Kev keeps getting ambushed in Ranger.
In the Ranger, yeah, probably, yeah, exactly.
See, it's been a long time. You've mentioned this a couple times, and I actually pulled that game down to play it. I haven't played it, but I have it out. So it's one of those ones where you brought it up again. I may have to pull it out and leave it on the table for when I'm on, because I start my vacation.
It doesn't have a big footprint. You know, you've got the map that you're sort of marking your waypoints and things, and the rest of it is all kind of narrative stuff. And so it's real cool like that. Great stories come out of it, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
I'll probably get some stuff done for my other little Substack. You know, write some narrative stuff, some really hackneyed, bad stories from my gameplay. I've got like 10 stories behind, so I'll write some of that stuff up over the break and eat some food and relax and goof around with the kids.
Well, that's the thing that gets me about that with Ranger is you have some scenarios can actually be real involved and others are real quiet. But the thing I do like about it is the mental exercise of working out your patrol routes and where you're going to stop for security and crossing your paths and things like that, the openings, how you want to make sure that, and if you don't do these things, they will burn you if you run in the contact. Yes. So I think it does teach some really at a basic level, but it does teach you some good patrolling techniques if you're not already familiar with that stuff, which I think is pretty neat.
You can't tell me that doesn't bring back old school nightmares of land nav courses during training. Because seriously, I remember it. It's just like it, plotting out the coordinates on the map and doing the whole nine. And I'm sitting there trying to play the game at one point. And I'm like, all I can think about is MCT. Like that's the memory just keeps going through my head. And I hated MCT. I don't know when you went through MCT, Mo, but God, we didn't sleep. Like we had plenty of food, but no sleep. A couple hours a night if that,
Did they still throw pine cones and yell grenade?
God, I couldn't even remember.
Well, you'd remember that because they did that all the time. They would do it, especially when you break for chow or something like that. Because the whole idea is a drill instructor would grab a pine cone and throw it into the middle of a bunch of recruits and yell grenade.
No, so this one everyone.
No. Well, we did ICT in boot camp. We didn't do the MCT after.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
they changed it.
They had changed it since that time. But what they would do is they'd walk in and they toss it in the middle. So that way they're trying to teach everybody the instantaneous reaction of diving away from the grenade with your feet towards the blast. So it was a good way to reiterate that, but it also screwed up a lot of chow.
Yeah. See, what got me on that is the last training exercise was something like 3 or 4 days, simulates a war. We've got the whole blank firing apparatus thing. And I remember both my brother and I are in the same fighting pit. We're tired as hell. And I'm supposed to be the one that's down at this point. So I'm sitting in the fighting hole, head back, trying to sleep. And one of the instructors comes by and gets onto my brother because he's sitting there with his rifle in the dirt, which you're not supposed to do, with his head rested on it, just kind of being lazy. And the instructor gives my brother, I don't want to name him, gives him hell like, Marine, you're not supposed to have your rifle in the dirt. What do you do? Blah, 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 that shit. And my brother looks up at him. He's like, no, it still works. And he just picks his rifle up, points it straight in the air, like right towards the instructor's face and pulls the trigger, fires a round off. Now it's blanks, but you still don't want to do that. And he ended up getting in trouble for that. We ended up at the back of the line for the 10-mile march back, which is very unpleasant because anyone who's done the long ass force march remembers that the farther back you are, the worse it is because it accordions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do that, basically that light jog for 10 miles all the way back after being awake for 3 days. So to say I was a little irritated with him would be an understatement.
Understatement. That's funny.
We got lucky though. We had a female platoon that was supposed to be at the front, so they ended up setting the pace. So it wasn't as brisk as it would have been otherwise, to put it in a PC way.
Well, it would have been better if they were all short women. Then it would be even better, or short guys even. You know, you can.
Well, they all ended up
strides.
in the truck. They they got the 7-ton fall on us. They all ended up in that, so we ended up sprinting the last couple of miles in. Shit that I don't miss.
So, as far as games though, aside from Ranger, what other games are you looking to play, Kev, and then Nate, when you get a chance over the weekend, if you get a chance?
Well, so I think I'll be looking for short stuff. So probably, we've all loved the long road, so I'll probably crank out a long road if I can, or a World of War if I can, or maybe a little Great Battles of History just to change it up. I was teaching. Well, you shouldn't say teaching. I was discussing Under a Nine Sky with a couple of guys that we're going to play it next April. So I was walking them through the rules and sequence of play and stuff like that. And I may be doing a little session, which I might stream with some of the guys that have set up that new tactical combat system, TCS Discord channel. Yes. So we might try and run another session over Christmas.
Nice.
I don't know how helpful I'll be because I just say, "Oh, you go do this," and a lot of the guys who are very seasoned are like, "Well, actually, Kevin, you've got to flip the counter first and then do that." Yes, you do.
What you need to do is have the idiot one where people who have not played TCS come in and you teach them. So that way you're telling them what to do, and then you don't have the people going, no, you flip this first. You don't have the people who are experienced, because then it becomes...
Well, then, I kind of hope who turns up, right? But they were all very polite and very nice. They didn't make me feel bad. They didn't hurt my one feeling, so I was okay.
Well, hopefully you'll announce that, and I'll be able to join, because I wasn't able to do the last one at hockey, so unfortunately missed it. So I definitely want to jump in on one of those.
It was a good turnout. We had 30, 40 people, and the Discord channel is pretty popular, so I can't complain. I'm not involved with it. Someone else is running it. I just said I'd be happy to help.
Sure. No, that's fantastic. That's what games like that need, because they are kind of small, a little more obscure than others. So they need a good core group of people that are going to support it, because you name any game, you can go to BGG or whatever, and you get a lot of support, or CSW or whatever, Facebook. But TCS doesn't have that same level. So you got to kind of go find a group. So if you have a dedicated Discord server that's about that, then everybody that wants to know about it can go there, and it's just one-stop shopping, which is pretty awesome.
That's perfect.
What about you, Nate?
Kev actually touched on one of mine, the long road.
Kev touched you. What?
I was going to say something, but then I thought I won't. It might be a family show.
It was delicate. It was loving. No, I'm going to do the long road. I got that already set out. Captain C by Legion Games, because I've been wanting to poke around at that. I just took the Darkest Dungeon off my table because
somebody turned on the lights.
And it just didn't get reviewed that well. I did a video on it, and it was all right, but if I could go back, I wouldn't have backed it. And strangely enough, I actually got the what's that game? The Flashpoint Campaigns Southern Storm from Slithering Games. I'm going to be spending some time with that, because I've really been enjoying that one, and I've been getting a lot of requests to continue the tutorial series that I started on it. So I'm going to dig into that later, probably after Christmas. And as a personal little guilty pleasure, I got myself Dwarf Fortress on Steam. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that one. It's got real good ratings. You got to have your little fortress with dwarves, and you try to, build it up.
So I decided dwarf tossing.
No, tossing the dwarf. It's the fortress. It looks kind of like what's the name of that game?
The target.
sim colony thing or whatever. You've got a colony and you got to try to get them to survive. And strange stuff happens. It's got very good reviews. So I finally decided to give that one a try. And evidently it's gotten Fango Wolf is approving.
Nice.
But so far, my fortress is surviving, but suddenly one of my dwarves got possessed and is carving a special project that I am afraid is going to kill the rest of my dwarves. I don't know what's going on. It's the first time I've ever played the game, so you're gonna have to see how that plans out. But the rest of it is spending time with the kids, playing some games with them. I got some smaller games that they can actually play with me. The dry erase version of Zombicide. And cool. You'll like this. My little girl, my 6-year-old, loves minis. She is obsessed with my minis. She is playing with them every day. So I actually got her some minis of her own for Christmas. And I'm letting her pick out some more from Manic Games because she is just dying to paint her own minis. So I'm hoping to steer her down the right path, into the gaming path. So I have a little buddy when she gets older and can really join me on this stuff.
Nice. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. And Fabrizio brings up Flashpoint Southern Storm. That is one that I have not sat down with yet. And that's one of the things I want to do this weekend. And then this is another one I'm going to get to, Skyhawks. Yeah, and I'll be getting back to this one too, hopefully, Men of War. And which is has already been one of the giveaways we've done. We've given out presents already. Well, these guys haven't, but I have. We have Brian in the audience, has been a longtime viewer, and so I surprised him by sending him a copy of that. And he just got it today, so that was our first giveaway. Even before the show started, I gave one away, so he'll be able to play that, which is pretty cool. You can paint any mini pink.
No, you can't.
The Slaanesh stuff.
Well, yeah, Slaanesh you can paint pink.
Nice. So you can get her one of those and then get her to paint in pink or just whatever. Just give her a whole bunch of paints and let her do what she wants. And the main thing is with a kid, when you get them to paint a miniature, they paint it themselves without, if they need guidance or something, you can help them, but let them paint it themselves because they'll take ownership of it. And then they're involved. Yeah. Then they're wanting to play.
Well, see, she's actually playing with it the right way. Because I remember one time I was setting up some miniature game. I forget which it was, but she was seeing me and what I was doing. And I kind of gave her a basic explanation. And I came out later and I saw her at the table and she was playing with her little horses and feel good Barbie stuff. And she had them in 2 lines. And I'm like, okay, Kenna, what are you doing? And she's like, these are my battle lines. They're going to find. And I have never been so proud as a dad as when she told me those were her little battle lines and she was recreating it on the table
until you get her going, and then you walk past her bedroom and she's in there. Ken, this is Barbie. Give me the fucking air support now. And you're like, okay, she's really getting into it.
No,
danger close.
I've got to watch what I'm saying around her because she's picking up after me, and she's said to her, like to both of us at times, because she doesn't understand there are daddy words and there are kid words. And she's gotten upset about things, and her little high pitched voice be like, "What the hell, daddy?" I'm like, no, you can't say that. You gotta tone it down, or look at her mommy and say, "Damn it, mommy." I'm like, no, we're still working on this.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's cute when they're 6. It's not so cute when they hit middle school and they're still doing it. So we're trying to break her of that habit now.
And I say it to the teacher, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Then it's not.
So, are you playing, Mo?
Well, like I said, I haven't been playing much recently. I've been doing a lot of editing, so that's why I'm taking a little hiatus. I've got one more video to edit, and then I'm done. It's going to be should be a fairly easy video to edit, because I told John that I was going to do a storage video on Third World War, which I did. I just have to edit it up real quick, and then I'll throw it up online. I also have the next Learn to Play, which is going to be going up, and that was the one that took all my editing time lately. So that one will go up probably tomorrow.
Which was that? Was that Kursk?
No, this is for World War II Commander Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, okay.
You know,
right.
and
okay.
I was trying to get it done for the 16th, but me and John, he couldn't do it sooner because he had a cold. So we had to push it back about a week, which pushed this back almost a week, like 4 days. So,
right.
But kind of jammed through it and got it done. So that'll be the next Learn to Play, because the Bulge is still going on, or was historically. So I think it's kind of neat to have that tie in with the history. So that, and then I've got a couple other videos that'll be going up over the next couple weeks, and then that'll be it for a little bit of time. When it comes to playing, though, it's going to be, like I said, Skyhawk. I'm going to play Flashpoints on the front, and probably some Men of War. A couple other games that I'm going to check out. I've got Stout Hearts that I just got in the other day. I did a video on. I'm going to check that out. I'm probably over this weekend. I'm probably going to just do a lot of shorter games, just because it's 4 days, and then the real fun starts the following week, because starting the following week I go on my vacation. So I'll have a lot more time for that. So it's pretty cool.
Away?
What's that?
You going away?
Nope. No. I mean, if we do anything, it might be like a day trip or something. It'll at the most, but we'll probably just be sticking around here and, resting and relaxing. I'll be gaming and trying to catch up on some books and things like that. So it's going to be a staycation, just hanging out and doing nothing. Plus I got a freaking string of games that just keep building that I've got to get down and sit down and play. Let's see. Private Public 2022 was a great gaming year for me. From once I got Blood Bowl, I fell heavily down the mini path. Haven't been able to get back into Hex Encounter. How could you not get back into Hex Encounter?
Look, besides just Blood Bowl, though, you got to do Dungeon Bowl, so you can use 2 games with the same minis. Right? Trust me, Dungeon Bowl is awesome. Check it out.
But he says Blood and Fury will definitely lure him back, which I agree. That's going to be a lot of fun. Attrition of Souls, you want to get that on the table? That is not going to be a difficult game to learn. It's a very, very easy war game to learn, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, you had that on the World War II Commander Bulge on the table the other day. Cool. And then Zero Leader. Oh, sorry, went past that one. Tim saying he wants to learn Zero Leader over Christmas break. Craig saying,
that's fast game.
Wait a second. I heard 2 responses. I heard you saying that's a fast game, and then I think I heard someone give it a raspberry.
No, not Zero Leader the game. I think the game's fine.
Okay. Staycations are the best. I agree. They definitely are. But so you don't have a problem with Zero Leader?
No, not the game. I think Chuck did good with it.
There you go. And then John says that Brittany taught him Attrition of Souls during Expo. She claims she could teach it to a toddler. Yeah, I can definitely see that, because it's not a difficult game. It really isn't. It's a very simple, straightforward game, and it's a lot of fun.
What is that about? I don't know that game.
World War I. It's it's a really, like, when I first got it, I was just like, I'm not a World War I gamer generally, but I'll give it a try. So I sat down and I was like, okay, this is pretty simple. And then I start playing it, and then I reset, because I was just like, I'll do that a lot of times. I'll just set up a game. I'll start playing. I go, okay, I get it. All right, let's reset and now play.
Yep.
So then I was playing, and what happens is you pull from a bag what your units are. So you don't know what units are going to come out, which is kind of neat, because you don't know who's going to enter, who's going to be available, things like that. So it's a simple chip pull mechanism type thing, just from pulling from a bag, as to what units you're going to have. And then moving them around is where you start, because it's all just boxes, point-to-point boxes. And you're like, oh, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Because you're like, the map doesn't look like it's going to be that exciting, and pulling units. I started playing it. I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. You can see where, okay, I'm going to put these guys here as a bluff, or I'm going to put these here as a blocker, because you don't want anybody coming up that way. So that way you can put the main effort after whatever town that you want to go after. And it's really, like I said, fast moving game. And the best part about it is the base game is really easy, but then they have a bunch of optional rules that you can add in as you want. And you can tailor it. Yeah, and you can tailor it. So you can say, hey, you know, this rule sounds interesting. I'll add this. This one sounds stupid. I won't use it. This one sounds too difficult, but this one sounds cool too. So I'll add that in. So you can tell your experience and you can change it every time, which I think gives it a lot more replay value that way.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, it's a pretty neat game.
It's like weather rules. Anytime they're optional, I take them out. I hate weather. I hate it.
Why?
I don't know. For some reason, I've hated it since I've begun wargaming. I can't stand weather. If no game had weather, I would never be disappointed.
I see a child.
Uh-oh.
Ho, ho, ho.
Evidently, they're saying goodnight. Are you coming out to say goodnight?
Good night.
And
Good
you're
night.
covered in candy. All right. Love you. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
That's cute.
It's just adorable.
All right.
Nate's scoring cuteness points here.
Yeah.
Love you.
It's like, okay, whatever. You're on TV.
They're going to bed. Close the door, sweetie.
So now Craig says that's how he feels about multi-level line of sight.
You know, I kind of get that one too. Like if they can do it basic, but when they start getting into, well, if you're at this height and there's a shadow from this tree, it'll go out 3.5 hexes. And oh no, shut up. Right? Just if you're behind the tree, you can't get shot. We're done. I don't want to deal with the rest of that crap. I hate it when they overcomplicate weather and line of sight. I'll agree with him on that.
What about supply?
Yeah.
Supply is easy. You go to the edge of the board. If you're there, you're good. If you're not, and move on.
Well, there was a discussion on Twitter not too long ago I was having with a couple of people, and they were talking about how there's not enough logistics in war games. And I was like, well, you have to make the decision. Do you want a war game or do you want a strategy game?
Yeah.
Yeah, logistics game is going to be strategy. It's not going to be a war game.
Right.
And of course, there was arguing there because the whole what is a war game thing. It's like, if there's no kinetic combat, it's not a war game. That's the way I look at it. And
it's
then
a history game.
It's a history game, yeah, or strategy, however you want to phrase it. But when it comes to that, and don't get me wrong, logistics would be interesting as its own problem to solve. You know, making sure that units can move to different locations and they can have the proper loadouts and everything. That would be interesting as a kind of a sidetrack. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing it once, maybe twice, but probably not that often because it's not where my interest is. My interest is in the fight. And when it comes to logistics, I'm like, well, that's why they have logistics people. The log train can come up and catch up to me. Now the way they do it in war games where it's generally, abstracted out is fine. I think that's interesting enough to add in considerations that you have to worry about. You don't want to get too far ahead of the main body because then you're going to be cut off from supply and then you're in trouble. So that's fine, but as far as logistics, I don't know, everybody here in the audience, you chime in and let us know what you think about logistics and war games. Do you think there should be more? Do you think there should be logistics only games out there? Or do you think it's just right the way it is now? And then of course you guys chime in.
Well, I think a lot of stuff with all right, so TV, movies, all this other stuff, they've got people with a very twisted sense of what combat actually is now. It's way different than it was in World War II. What was it in World War II? You had 3 guys in logistics and supply for every 1 guy on the front. And now what is it? Something like 8 or 10 are in some sort of support role versus every 1 guy that's actually out there hooking and jabbing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was even farther from that, 20 to 1, whatever it is. So I get it. Logistics is a big deal, but nobody's making movies about the dude driving the truck, so we're not making video games about someone who's picking up the box of ammo and carrying it over here, putting in it. Nobody's really all that concerned with it. It's fine if it's in the game to an certain extent. You don't want to get cut off and surrounded. That makes sense. But once we start getting into like tactical levels, especially if it's like man to man, I don't want to worry about supply. I don't want to worry about any of that crap. Right.
Yeah. But they're doing the movie, so Nate, come on now. Let's extend your metaphor. How often does some pivotal point happen in a movie where the dude runs out of ammo, right? So it's important. I don't think it belongs in tactical at all, right? I don't see it, because you're, what, 20-minute combat in a sort of tactical level game is really what we're dealing with. Or if it's platoon level, it's a couple of hours, so no one's running out of ammo. But even with World of War 85, it's got supply. That's ATGM missiles run out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a supply metaphor. I like it. I at the operational level, I like a little. I don't want a bean count like with OCS. I think OCS is a little bit over the top. Although even they're changing what they're doing now with how supply actually works. It's a lot easier, a lot simpler, a little bit easier to manage. So I think it's important, but I don't want it to be the game. I want it to be a part of the game that matters, but not a part of the game that makes you frustrated. So
sure.
And does it add to the gameplay value, right? Does it matter? Like, did it matter that the Panzers, Rommel couldn't get oil and food and gas? It mattered, but he didn't care about that. That was someone else's problem. So, got to work out where to draw that line.
Well, John, you're right, though. It comes down to scope, right? How big the scope is on how much logistics is going to be in there.
Yeah. And John is asking about that. He said, is that what Supply Lines of the American Revolution from Hollenspiel is about? And it is exactly what that game is about. It's about the logistics of the American Revolution, and the combat in there is extremely abstract. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's a good game when it comes to logistics and all that stuff. It's an interesting puzzle. It's definitely a Euro.
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, you have to work out the puzzle, and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good, but I want the combat part of it, and I think these guys do as well. From what we're saying, we're all on the same page. Logistics is handled by other people, and people want to argue over needing more logistics in games, stuff like that. Well, in a war game, you as the player are taking on the role of supreme commander all the way down to company commander. When you think about it, we are abstracting everything down. You don't have staffs telling you where every unit is and moving those units and everything else. If you break out a game into a bigger, if you break it out into teams, then you could do that. But that's going to be kind of boring for all the people involved, because they're only going to get a certain amount of action each day, which would also be kind of realistic in a way when you think about it. But so I think abstracting the logistics is fine, because a lot of other things are abstracted. Look at air in a lot of games. You add air points.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or even command, right? I mean, command is abstracted, and all that. There's so many. You have to make a choice, or you end up with that grand operational system, GOS, right? Where it's just it's trying to be all things to everything, or the Second World War, right? Which is trying to be operational and grand tactical all together, with individual ships yet divisions. And
that's true. And that's actually funny, Ed, because Living Campaign Games, that was one of the games that was the main game that was being talked about in that discussion, and that when we were talking about logistics. And let's see, I'm going to catch up on other comments, but I agree. Here's another good comment: adding more supply usually adds record keeping, and I hate record keeping. Now, what do you guys think of record keeping games? What's your tolerance for it?
Depends how it's done. I don't mind it, but I don't want to be looking at the map and then having to go over to another chart to work out what's on the map and how many pips it has left, or how many boxes it has, scribbled on and stuff like that. So it needs to be clean.
It only matters to a certain extent, and for certain games. All right. So like Absolute Victory by Compass Games. And that one, you are going to be producing certain units year over year, battleships, tanks, troops. And when you do stuff like that, you're going to have a certain amount of record keeping in it. A game like Company of Heroes, and that part of the game is getting those supply points for munitions, fuel, personnel points that you're going to translate over there. So it's going to be required depending on the type of gameplay you have. Some games, it feels kind of shoehorned in just to add an extra feature, but some of them, it's there because it's needed to be there. It's part of the gameplay, right? Especially one where you're kind of translating an RTS experience down to a tabletop. You're going to have those points there in some way, shape, or form.
Now, E4 Airman says, I've been reading a book about meat at Gettysburg. Herds of cattle, men without shoes or food. Logistics are very important. No one is saying that logistics are not important. What we're saying is, in war games, we like it when it's more abstract for the simple fact of the matter that it eases gameplay, so you don't have to, like, if you wanted to get down into what you're talking about there, that would be a different type of game altogether. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's if that's what your interest is. I think it would be fine.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're looking for, right? If you're going to a con and you want to spend 4 days working out, can I get my tow trucks up to the front to tow that Panzer IV back and roll a die and repair it, then put it back in the game? If you want to do that, that's awesome. But if you want to play an entire game of whatever that topic was covering, where we're towing tanks around, then you probably want to abstract that and have a table that you roll a die and that all happens and you get those bits back next turn, because the mechanical action of moving a little tow truck up to the front and bringing it and waiting a turn to load the tanks and then taking it back and then fixing it, it's kind of tedious, right?
Yeah.
When you get to that sort of level of detail. So it depends on the scale, right? And how much fluidity and fun factor you want versus historicity and
true
goofy shit.
Stigler says, Gimpy, you're killing me. 2 of my battles have weather rules that really factor into the game. So
sorry, bud.
You've just killed Stigler with that whole thing about not liking weather.
Weather is a personal thing.
But weather, what is it about weather? It's just because you don't like that it screws with the standard flow of the battle, or what is it that you get turned off of?
To be bluntly honest about it, for me, it's more of like the personal thing, because the head injury thing makes it to where I can only keep so many things active at a time. And especially if I'm filming something, that's already taken a good percentage of my concentration. And when it comes down to weather, that's always the thing I forget the most. So for some reason, I just can't remember to keep the weather rules in my head. It's a +1 movement point because the roads are muddy, blah, blah, blah. And I always forget it. So anytime I can ever leave it out because it's optional, I always leave it out. I can't keep it in my head. And if I can't keep it in my head, it's not really a part of the game. And if it's not changing that much of the game for me anyway, how important could it really be?
Well, it is changing. You're just not remembering those rules.
Yeah. Whether I get is important when it comes to combat. I wholeheartedly agree with it. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, how important is it to these games that we're playing, especially if it's like the strategic level, something like Unconditional Surrender. I really don't think we need to worry about the weather all that much.
Well, if you're in the Eastern Front, people might want to disagree with that.
With the exception of, okay, I'll give it to that. Okay. No. You're right. That's a good point. That the Russian winter is crucial.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of those things where you have to, change. You have to keep that in mind, that it is an important part of the year, when you have these important parts of the year, like the respitites and things like that, that can affect movement of troops and things like that. That if that's modeled into the game, it makes sense. Like Craig's saying here, it depends on the level. Tactical games should have limited logistics. He does not like the re-rolling ATGM reloads in World War 85.
I don't either.
I think it's one of those things where it's abstracting out that you're going to run out of, ammo. So that's fine, and it's one of those things where you're trying to add something a little different and you're trying to make it as simple as possible, which I think it works for that.
Okay. Hold on. Tell me what you think is better though. All right. So think of that system and now think of something like 1985 Under Nine Sky or Sacred Oil where they've got artillery points.
Yeah.
Right. So the artillery has limited ammo. They can't just fire it out forever. But instead, they have multiple ways to do it, but they do have a simplistic version where it's, hey, you've got 3 artillery points. Spend them as you need them. You'll get more the next turn as long as you're in supply. I like something like that because that has a nice little counter, mnemonic reminder for me. I got 3, I got 2, I got 1, I'm done. you know, and it's simple. That way you've got the ammo, the logistics in there, but it's easy to keep track of. You're not going to forget it. No modifiers, just boom. You have it or you don't. You're not having to sit here and, well, I might have it on the turn, I might not. You're either out of ammo or you're not.
Well, by the same token, when you look at it where you may be out of ammo, that is, it may sound silly, but at the same time, you're at the top level. You're like supreme commander or whatever. You're general in charge. You don't know what your units below you are doing. You may have guys that are just real trigger happy and they just spent all their ammo. They may have been in a really heavy firefight and they spent a lot of ammo. They may not have even won the fight, but there was a lot of ammo expended. So those things, it does make sense in that regard when you look at it from that point of view. So there, even though it's abstracted, there are ways to explain it out. But the good thing is if a designer explains what the intent was, then I think it carries more weight. Now, like Guadalcanal, that War Diary just did, that has that on the map too, telling you what your supply points are for every turn. So I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah. I honestly, the ones that have some type of reminder built in, whether it's a weather token, ammo token, whatever it is, something that I can see rather than something I have to remember and try to keep in my mind, are the ones that bother me least.
Mm-hmm. How's it going, Duck Overlord? I love the name. Any game on World War II in the desert has to have logistics at the operational level up. Otherwise, otherwise it ain't the med theater in World War II.
Roger that. Yep.
The moose got loose. Nice. I'm just catching up on other comments. You guys keep going if you want to talk about logistics. Oh, Stigler says no to logistics only games. One campaign for North Africa is enough. Well, see, the thing is, there is Campaign for North Africa was trying to meld logistics with a war game. And what I'm talking about is having a logistics only game, you know, for people who are really into logistics, and go have a strategy game on logistics, which would be fine. Like the supply lines of the American Revolution. That is exactly the type of game those people want. You know, they want to have abstract battles. They want to have more of a focus on the logistics, but that is also a pretty simple game. It's a very straightforward game. It's not a hard game to grok. The hard thing is just figuring out the puzzle as far as how you want to maximize your logistics.
Think about it this way, and this could just be me spitballing, but it seems to me that the more games that have a deeper logistics element to it, like the deeper element that is, the less the game's actually likely to get played. Think, you know, Campaign for North Africa, or the War for the Pacific by Decision Games, right? That gets really into logistics. You're moving your troops, you're having to move oil points over, or whatever it is. If you get it to where it's so complex that someone can't really fathom actually pulling it out because it's got 10,000 counters in it, you know, it doesn't matter how well you kind of flesh out the logistics to it, because it's not going to get played. There's a balance between actually showing the logistics in the theater you're trying to have versus making it so complex that it can't be played reasonably.
Yeah, true. And here's one. Math and games. All great generals are masters of logistics. I would say that is a blanket statement that is false, for the simple fact that I would say all great generals have an understanding of logistics for sure, but they know enough to get good S4 people underneath them. So that way they can handle logistics and communicate with them. So I wouldn't say that generals are masters at that. It's just that they know how to pull in the right people, and they know how to give those people, you know, the right jobs to do. So that way they can, what's the word I'm looking for? They can basically dole out the responsibilities. So that way they can get the right people on the right jobs, and you can get the best outcome while they think a big picture. Because remember, it's the commander's intent at the top is we want to take this objective, and then it goes down below that into planning. And then it goes down below that to the battalion level, regiment battalion level. Then it goes down to the company level. Then it goes down to the platoon level. So, and then even down to the squad level. So there's multiple levels of preparation and planning along the way that is going to get more and more granular as you get lower. But the whole thing is that the commander's intent gets conveyed, and that the commander's intent is followed. And that all comes down to having the right people underneath them that can disseminate that to the troops and then the right people below them to get it done.
Yeah, I could see that.
Of course, Kev goes, you can play Campaign for North Africa without detailed supply.
It has the rule. It has the option to use the kind of abstracted supply, and you don't have to manage everything by TOE points and water and food, water and fuel and ammo. You don't have to do it that way. It's not the same game, but you can do it that way.
Okay.
I mean, it gets a bad rap, right? And I've played 2 operations, I think they're called, operational phases, with a bunch of guys with the super detailed rules, and there's lots of holes in the game anyway. Besides that, right? So it's not just the fact there's lots of counters or lots of paperwork. It's just that it's not functionally correct. It doesn't necessarily work the way it should. For its time, it was pretty ambitious and did what it did.
Sure.
Right?
Well, seeing Fabrizio, come up there, it was making me think about his stuff. And in his games, there is a very valid reason for a deeper level of logistics to be going on, because he's abstracting out multiple theaters of war. And while you might be focused on one, there's more going on in the world at the same time. So where you are devoting resources here, you're not going to have them there. If you put them there, you're not going to have them here. So it makes a really good sense to have that in that game, but it's not detailed to the point that you can't play the game. It's still about the combat that's actually going on the table.
And 2, you need to get those 10 supply points into that port to repair it before you can use that port. Right, Fabrizio? which I struggled with in one scenario. I couldn't work out how to do it, but it was a cool little puzzle to sort out.
Nice. See, now, the thing is, when it comes to, like I said, tactical stuff, everyone's going to have a different level of tolerance for it. Now you have what is that one? Is it Space Empires? Yeah, Space Empires 4X.
Oh, yeah.
You've got that pad of paper that you are going to sit down literally and bookkeep. And for some people, they would really enjoy that. Part of me would enjoy that as far as logistically saying, okay, well, I need to get shipyards, and in this shipyard, I need to build this many ships. So that becomes its own game in a way. It does become its own game, really, because you're now trying to, okay, I need this here and I need this here. Now, how am I going to get these where I need them? And then you're always finding out that no matter what, logistics is always behind the curve. Logistics is always needing the ground troops to take locations and gather resources and stuff like that to get up there, so that way they can get up there, I should say, and then build more stuff. So that way it's like the beast needs to be fed, and the only way to do that is for your ground troops to get up there, consume, and get area, and then you can then feed them further. So if anybody's played a real-time strategy game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It really comes down to just resource hogging for that.
Speaking of which, that expansion, the solo expansion, did a good job of making it solo by taking away that aspect of the enemy, the replicators. So you don't have to worry about them. You just have to worry about your own stuff, because the replicators are just robots that expand kind of like a virus across the board.
Well, here's a loaded question from the Duck Overlord. What is a good medium-sized war game to introduce people to more advanced war games that is not crazy amounts of money? Okay. First off,
what size?
Well, first off, when you consider a medium-sized, what do you want? Strategic, operational, tactical? Are you looking for skirmish? Are you looking for what era? Civil War, World War I, World War II, modern?
Yeah.
Napoleonic, ancients. Not, and I'm not being a smart ass with you. I'm just saying that's one of those things with that type of question is you need to narrow it down a little bit more, because I don't know what level, or we don't know what level you're talking about these gamers have. Because I would say for a game to introduce people that have not played war games, to get them interested in them, to get them to step up and play other games, would be like any of the Command and Colors type of games. Memoir 44 is one of them.
It depends if what if they played before, right?
Sure.
So one of the David Thompson's games that's doesn't he have multiplayer games, right? So Undaunted, something, one of those
Undaunted Normandy, North Africa,
yeah.
Stalingrad, his most recent, is actually really well received. He instituted a lot of new elements to it.
Block games like Vento Nuevos, Moscow 41, Napoleon 200, they're all super approachable. Some of those smaller Columbia games that are sort of thematically oriented, you could just find a theme that someone likes and then grab one of those.
Conflict of Heroes, 3rd edition.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now let's see what the Duck Overlord has to say. What is your experience with war games? How experienced are you and your friends? How experienced are they with war games? Definitely give us that information so we can help you a little bit further. Now, this is funny. Stegler saying he don't get the appeal of American Revolution games, and hell, he was born in Philadelphia. It just bores him silly. But you like ACW, and it was just a bigger American Civil War. American Revolution. It's the same thing. But the funny thing is I have more interest in the American Revolution. So? The tactics are similar. They're much larger armies, obviously. So there's more formations, whereas the Revolution was more about it was guerrilla warfare, and there wasn't as many straight up fights. It was more hit and fades, run away, because you're facing an enemy that like outnumbers you like 50-1 and just is like it's the mightiest thing on the planet, really, so you have to get them with a death of 1,000 cuts. Now, I'm the opposite. I am more interested in the American Revolution than I do the American Civil War. And I think it really just comes down to interest.
But most of the American Civil War games, most of the American Revolution games that are out are all battle oriented anyway at the tactical scale. Then you get to the strategic ones, and then it's just, it could be anything. I haven't found a game that screams, yes, this is the American Revolution.
1776 by Amelino.
Maybe that's the one.
There you go. So let's see if I got to go through. I'm so far behind. Let's see.
I can't hear the number 1776 without thinking of Ron from what was that show? Parks and Rec.
What was that?
That show.
All right, let me get back up. Now, you know what? You were talking about games, and one of the games you talked about was Moscow 41, or was it? I think it was Moscow 41 you talked about, Kev.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah,
this one. That's going to be the first giveaway tonight. That's going to be the first Christmas present.
Let's do it.
So, let's see. What should we do? How should we do this? I think what we'll do is we will say, let's say Moscow 41 is going to be the keyword. So just type in hashtag Moscow 41. And let's see if this works here.
Can you do that like random generator thing like John does?
That's what I'm going to try to do. I want to see if this works. Let's see. Hashtag Whiskey Charlie. There you go. Hey, Roy's here. Speaking of Guadalcanal and War Diary.
Oh, yeah. War Diary just came in for me the other day.
There we go. And if you are not already subscribing to War Diary, you should.
Do yourself a favor and subscribe.
Absolutely.
It is the best wargaming magazine, value for money, and quality of articles you can get.
They do have a good selection of games. I will give them that.
We really need to this is why we can't have nice things, and this is why
wargamers get a bad rap.
Dumb questions on Board Game Geek or wherever they're asking it.
Have too many unread games. I did not know that you read your games. You're supposed to play them. All right, I'll give it a few more seconds, and then we will see who is the first recipient of the game.
What is this Song of War thing he's talking about?
I'm not sure. I think it was something similar to Moscow 41, if I remember correctly. I think it might have been one of those ones that these guys had done, Draco or Vento Nuovo.
Well, it's not Vento Nuovo, let me tell you that.
Putinville. Putin on the Ritz. So we will close it out here in another 10 seconds. So if you're going to get that in there, make sure you get it in hashtag Moscow 41.
Here it is.
And let's see.
Oh, I think I have seen this.
Okay.
Is it working there, Mo?
Yep, I am going to see if I can share this here. And here we go.
Oh,
all right, so we're going to draw.
Look at you all high speed, low drag.
There you go. And the winner is NP Sergio. NP Sergio is the winner. I don't know where you're from, NP Sergio, but definitely make sure you let us know. Moscow 41. You get an extra one there for putting it in kind of mock Cyrillic.
Mo, we need to say this beforehand just in case.
Yes. Go ahead and I'll let you say it.
For my giveaways, sorry guys, it's CONUS only or people like John who have a CONUS address. Sorry, I got a bunch of games I'm giving away and I can only afford to pay so much.
Yes. Yeah, I think that pretty much goes across the board. I should have said that ahead of time. You're right, and I missed that one. So, but that one we will, it is NP Sergio. So NP Sergio, make sure that you email me at, let's see here. I think it's actually on the page. Yeah, it is. Just mofantasy@gmail.com. And it's on the channel page. Email me and let me know that you won Moscow 41. And
he's saying he's from Spain. Are you gonna still go with it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to do that. So we're gonna have to redraw. Sorry. That is a good point. I should have actually corrected myself on that.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, because you know why? Because right now the rest of the world shipping is so tough because it's just
super expensive.
Yeah, it is. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see if I can.
I sent a game to a guy in England and it cost $96.
Wow.
Oh, England's horrible to send to right now.
It was unbelievable. I pooped myself.
Yeah, Sergio, I apologize for that. That is my fault. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this again. I'm going to share the screen. It's already running.
Mr. Fudpucker. Oh, that was
Roy Matheson. Nice. So, Roy, I get to send you something this time, and I'm going to be sending it to you. Roy, just email me. You got my email. Just email me your address, and we will.
That's great.
Get that out to you. And I'm going to write that down. That Roy got Moscow 41. And then who wants to go next with a next giveaway?
I got a little one. Why don't I just do a little one? To start with. It's kind of a warm up. You know, it's kind of like the appetizer of giveaways.
Yeah, kick it off here, Kev.
Did I?
What's?
I thought it was on mute.
No,
you're
good.
Shut up, Gimpy.
I said you were good. What the hell? Why am I catching all this flack from the old guy?
You're confusing me.
So what is your?
So simple, but the Battle of Alma, GDW. It's a Chadwick game. It's a little classic. It's punched. I'll put the stuff in a baggie. Let's put hashtag Alma, ALMA.
All right.
And once again, Con US would be preferred for that one as well, even though it is small. And it's a cool little game if you've not played a GDW mini game like that.
So hashtag Alma is what it's going to be.
And people, you can win more than one game here. So
yes, we do not have. There's no bag limit here.
There's no backling. Look at the people go. Looks like we must have got a few people coming in from that other show because we have 56 watching now.
Well, there's gifts and presents. So everybody wants to join in. Yeah. So, and that's great. That's what this is all about. It's the season of giving. So we are giving back to you guys, and we appreciate your support all through the years and joining us and watching the shows and putting up with our shenanigans and having fun along the ride with us.
Yeah, totally.
So we got another 30 seconds, and then we'll close out the draws for this, or we'll start the draw, I should say.
Yeah. Meandering Mike already has the game. Well, have you played it, Mike? If not, let's get going. Roll some dice. Hashtag roll dice, bro.
That's what we should have used for you. Hashtag roll dice.
Oh, we'll do that for the next two.
We'll do that for the next one.
For next one.
Oh my! You got to be kidding me. This is exactly why we're not doing outside of the country. To send a smallish box to Ireland by federal, it would have been $620.
No shit.
That is just insane. It is insane.
That's rapage.
Yeah.
Ooh, it wasn't that bad a few years ago. It's just
an average size box full of booze would cost $280. Damn,
I'm not shipping booze. I ain't shipping no booze to nobody.
Damn, there's too much chance of breakage.
What's an average size box of booze? Because that's going to vary depending on the user.
Yeah. If that's a case of wine, that's still expensive.
Yeah, that's real expensive. All right, so we're gonna kick it off here. We got 28 entries. Here we go. We'll see who wins. And the winner is Stigler. Congrats.
Oh, classic. All right, Stig. Well,
Stigler. Nice.
I promise not to put any boogers in it, and I'll put the counters in a baggie just for you.
Stigler's not only a longtime viewer, but he was a guest early on about 3 years ago. He came on the show and joined us. And so Stigler, congratulations. And again, thank you for being a longtime member of the channel. We really appreciate you. He's like, I finally won one.
Yay. Good on this, Stig.
So everybody likes you now because you won. So the next one, Nate, you got one?
Yep. Actually, I got a handful.
Okay.
So let's do one. You get to do
first one. First one's going to be Castle Itter. Is it Itter?
What iteration of David Thompson's games is this?
Now, as a FYI, this one is the prototype version. It's the same as the regular version of the game. The only thing is it doesn't have a box, but other than that, it's the same stuff. So it's got same tokens, cards, all other good stuff in it. So Castle Itter.
Charles has the good comment right here.
If I had a spare one, I would send it.
You know what you do? You don't not only worry about not putting a counter clipper in there, but make sure everything is either clipped or very heavily dog-eared. And then just drive them nuts. That way the stacks are like all over the place. All right. So what's your hashtag?
We'll just do hashtag Itter.
There we go.
Yeah, hashtag Itter. But Itter. David Thompson has always done very well on his prototypes. So when you get a prototype from him for a game, it's the full version of the game. It's got everything. It's almost, the production quality when it comes to his prototypes. But there's no reason for me to hang on to them, so I figure at least I can send those out. But I do have some brand new stuff as well that I'll be giving away. So if you would like a copy of Castle Itter,
I like Mike's.
It's better than nothing at all.
Bitter. Would you like a castle bitter? All right. So we've got a bunch already in. So everybody wants Castle Itter.
Clip one corner.
I know. I love that one. Clip one corner. And then Kilroy had a comment here. Let me catch up. There's partially clipped would be best. And that's when Mike says, just clip one corner. You clip opposite corners or just clip random corners. And then clip them with toenail clippers.
You know, now I'm going to actually have to check and make sure I did clip the entire thing, right? So
no, just do that, like just a random corner here, 2 corners there. Like that way it's not going to look the same on any counter.
Send them stop signs.
Oh, well, you know what? There's a few in here that I've clipped. How about that?
Ooh. And dude, that bothers me when the counter is not square, because then I can't clip it if I want to.
That's funny.
All right, so going to stop collecting here in a few more seconds. So if you want your copy of Castle Itter, we only have 15 entries, so it's going to be, if you have entered, you have a good chance. The mouse is slowly going over to draw. So
I wouldn't be surprised if a fair number have some of these.
Yes, unfortunately, Sergio, I apologize there. I would like, but I'm from the other side of the world. And that is not your fault. That is not anyone's fault. It's unfortunately, I mean, not anyone's fault that we have control over. It's shipping is just so astronomical.
It's just genetics. It was born in the wrong continent. So. Is that wrong?
All right, so here we go. Jacob Guernsey is the winner. So he wins Castle Itter, as Gimpy says. Castle Itter.
Email me at TheGimpyGamer at Yahoo. It's in the description of all of my videos. So just pop over to one and you can find the email and send me an email with all your details.
Nice. All right.
And
so
tell me which game you want.
Yeah,
which game?
Safety tip.
Oh, you're giving him a choice?
No, I'm saying like when you email me with your address, put down, hey, I got Castle Itter.
Yes.
Blah, 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 because my memory shit.
I won case blue.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to give away the next one. And the next game I'm going to give away is Winter Thunder. And this is a Brian Train game on the Battle of the Bulge. This is punched but not clipped. So Stigler might want this one.
That's funny.
So it's going to be #Ardennes.
Ooh, sexy.
Mm.
I'm surprised that Train actually made like a real war game as opposed to one of his abstract kind of asymmetricals.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He is really, well, he did Brief Border Wars too. So he can do the kinetic stuff. Yes, he just doesn't, he doesn't do a lot of that. He's more into the asymmetric stuff, which is really interesting in its own right. So.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, Brief Border Wars was better than I expected.
Yep.
Told you.
Good game.
Brian, very eclectic, as Meandering Mike says. I agree. Got a bunch of #Ardennes in there. Nice.
Get some.
Should give away a copy of Kevin's favorite game, U-Boat. Pay homage.
Best map ever.
I still don't get that one.
I like that the SS units are weird purple pink. Brian's sense of humor. All right, so we're going to be closing out entries here in the next few seconds. So if you're going to get it in there, make sure that you put in your #Ardennes in right now. This is one of the giveaways tonight. Kev is giving away his signed copy of Twilight Struggle. It's signed by him.
It's signed in ashes.
Exactly. And you will get a bottle of lighter fluid to go along with it. All right. So we have 24 entries. And as soon as that mouse makes it over to the draw, it's going to draw. So if you can type fast, you want to get it in, you got to get it in there now because we're going to draw right now. Whew. And the winner is Manders. Tell me you're not from Flanders because that could be problematic. Remember, CONUS only. So hopefully you are from the United States. Send an email to mofantasy@gmail.com. You can get that email off the front of the page here on the channel. Excuse me. And let me know that you won Winter Thunder by Brian Train. And I will get that out to you.
forget the C or you just couldn't add it?
Which one?
Your email.
No, the C's in there.
Shouldn't it be like Mo Fantastic?
No, it's Mo Fantasy. It's an old email. It's an old email. And I can't change it because I wanted to make it Mo's Game Table at gmail.com. But I can't do that for the channel because it's tied into the Google account, and Google doesn't let you change that stuff, which is annoying. But
yeah.
Manders, make sure you send that email off to him, and I'll write that down. And anybody else want to do one right now?
Kev, how many more you got left?
I got 2 more.
I got 3 more, so let me do one of mine.
Yeah, punch it out, bro.
All right, next one up is, which one is this? Soldiers in postman's uniforms. Same as Castle Itter. It is the prototype version, but again, it's got all the components, all the good stuff that you need for it. So, Soldiers in postman's uniforms, one of the Valiant Defense series, and we'll do what? Hashtag postman.
There you go.
Postman rings twice.
I should do it in honor of Kevin Costner. Yeah. Hashtag Kevin Costner. Classic movie. Am I the only one that liked that movie?
Which one?
The Postman.
The Postman? I've never watched the full thing. So you want to make it hashtag the Postman?
No, hashtag Postman. Just Postman. Do M-A-N, not M-E-N.
Yes. Kind of figured that.
Oh, yeah, we got both now. We have both men and man.
Yeah. So if you put it in as M-E-N, redo it as M-A-N. Postman.
Like it said there, Postman. After dudes.
Reading rules. It's important.
Hashtag after dude.
That's what it is. I started reading the rules for Highway to the Reich.
Oh,
the second edition, and I had all these PMs from people going, "Dude, you don't want to play that game." Really? Yeah, not the third version or the second version, but then I had other people saying, "Oh, it's great." So I'll just have a look. Now I'm conflicted,
Yeah.
Hey, Mo, Kev, look at the private chat real quick. Can I use that as the next one?
Let me see.
What's he saying? No, you can't say that you're number one. You can change it to "I'm a stud" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you could say that unless it's actually from that company.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that would be.
I just want to show some love.
Well, people are going to get their feelings hurt. Next thing you know, we'll be canceled and ghosted and shadow banned and hated on, and then you'll feel like me.
See, and I liked Waterworld too. You're right, Craig. Waterworld, Postman. I like both. I mean, one was just Postman.
Was great. Waterworld was great.
All right,
it was stupid, but it was a classic.
We are at 16. If anybody wants to get in on it now, hashtag Postman. Going once.
I'm even tempted, but no.
Going twice. Can you type fast, Kev?
No, that's good. It would kind of suck for me too. Actually, did I see Octavian on that list?
Yeah. The Duck Overlord.
Really that is awesome.
The Duck Overlord. You were talking about getting into war games. Well, this is a great one to get yourself into it.
Yep, there you go. You got a solo starter for you. You're good to go, mate.
Yeah, and you can use this with people who are not, like you were talking about, medium games that you want to get people into war games with and go from there. This would be a great way to get their feet wet, is playing this. So make sure that you get that information over to Gimpy.
Yep, email me at TheGimpyGamer@yahoo.com. and give me your shipping address. Y'all include your phone numbers too, because some places are requiring a phone number. I don't know why, but they are now. So just make sure you include that.
So so any more giveaways right now? We're going to just go back to the chat for a few.
I don't know. What are we talking about?
I have no idea. we kind of got sidetracked with all the Kilroy saying, make sure you put in your social security number as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and your credit card info,
bank account, and routing number especially.
Yep.
Don't forget that. So definitely need that. And
if you're dumb enough to send it, I'm going to abuse it. Deal with it.
That's great. That's great.
Read the rules, RTFM. So, okay, so we were talking about logistics and war games now.
Yep, which is a very exciting topic.
Since it's the last, show of the year, we should talk about, like our favorite games of the year.
Yeah, I think we've all done videos or write-ups on them, haven't we?
Yeah, well, I think you guys have. You did one too, right, Kev?
Yeah,
I know Nate did. See, I never do stuff like that. I guess I should. I need to start doing like top fives and top this and top that, because everybody seems to like those for some reason.
Don't do that.
I'm usually busy with too much other stuff that I just. Yeah.
Are you serious? Even my wife has done a top 10.
No, we're not going to move on from logistics. We're going to talk about it until it's dead and buried and beaten to death, and we're going to bring it back and we're going to beat it again. I'm only kidding.
Whip that horse.
No, what I was saying was we were talking about logistics, and we've already covered enough on that, and then we're going to move on. So we are moving on from logistics. Okay.
Oh, let me say this while we're still on kind of giveaways, because I got a couple more left before we end, but I also have a separate video going on that is a giveaway. It's titled, I think, Giveaway 2022. Check that one out. You still have time. I'm doing the drawing on that in 2 days. You just have to subscribe and comment on the video to be entered. And it is for a wet palette by Cobalt Keep. So if you were into painting your minis, check that one out.
I have a wet palette.
Brian says don't sell out. No top games. I agree. I don't know. I never got into those, and I don't even really watch them either, because
that's your job, dude.
No, I mean,
you're supposed to say what's good.
Yeah, it's not my job.
But at the point in time you're playing, I think you say, do you like it or not like it? And relative to what? Like, you can't compare Castle Eater to Campaign for North Africa, right? So,
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, when it comes to David Thompson's games like the Castle Litter or Postman's Uniforms or any of those games, the one thing I will say that it does, that they all do fantastic, especially for newer war gamers and even for experienced war gamers, it eliminates line of sight as being problematic. It makes it as simple as possible. Right. You're in orange. He's in orange. You can see each other. You can shoot each other. He's in purple, you're in orange. You can't see each other. Problem solved. You don't have to sit there and break out no laser, no line tool, nothing like that. It's just all color coded, which is in that small map, and the way those paths are worked out. Basically, it's what do you call that? What is the name of that series? The States of Siege. It's that States of Siege engine where you have those paths coming to you, and you're defending those paths. So he just basically took the States of Siege, color-coded it, and it just eliminates line of sight as being a problem for anybody, which is great. And it's a great way for people to understand how line of sight works at a very basic level. And then from there, you can take them up to tactical games where it becomes very problematic, depending on how it's worded and depending on the map and everything else, so.
Well, you look at Lock and Load Tactical, they changed the way they did line of sight pretty significantly.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a question. Do you prefer EA Ardennes or EA Kharkov? I'm going to leave this one to Gimpy. He is a huge EA Ardennes fan. Yes.
You can't do that to me yet. I haven't gotten Kharkov to the table yet because I've been so busy. I know. I feel bad about it because I've been swamped. I haven't been able to get to it yet.
All the bitching and moaning you went on about.
No. Being excited for a game is not bitching and moaning. I was very excited for it. I'm still very excited for it, but I needed to ensure that when I have the table cleared off, that I've got enough time to do it justice. So I had to clear out the things that were ahead of it in line before I got to it.
Wow, you're so structured.
I had a lot of review some reason they always come in waves. So if someone wants me to review something, it seems like 5 publishers will send me something all at once.
I think this is a great comment.
I think we need Ed to be like a ghost joke writer for us. He's awesome.
But
I liked the map. I thought it was all right. No, but
because it reminded you of drawing pictures with crayons.
I mean, it reminded me of a younger time. I told you it reminded me of Advance Wars from the Super Nintendo.
It just didn't remind me of Finland. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I mean, the art on that, the original art wasn't bad. I mean, as far as like, it wasn't hideous or anything like that. It looked nice. It looked a little, like I told those guys, I said it just didn't look fitting to a war game.
It was a cartoonish map.
Yeah, it was kind of cartoonish for a war game, and that's where they listened, and they are going to, because they are proud of that original map, and they should be because they put the effort into it. But they also did listen, and they're going to have both maps, which I think is a good compromise to offer both. You know, they're going to have.
Are they going to do a third historical one, or like geographically accurate one as well, or are they just going to leave it as is?
Leave it as
sorry,
is.
I was just curious. It doesn't.
They're going to leave it as is. They're just going to update it with more of a war game look, and that's going to be on the opposite side of the board. So it's going to
just being nitpicky. Don't worry.
You were just being notorious.
Just a little thing.
So here's a good question: Shelf of Shame game.
Ooh.
We get a special on that.
Evidently, it's EA Kharkov.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, buddy.
Here's a good one. Rich Whitmer. Have you guys ever played Victory Roads or Liberty Roads? I actually had both and sold both.
Yes, I've played both.
The reason I sold them, as much as everybody thinks they're fantastic, is I couldn't stand the badges on the counters. I thought they were very distracting, and everybody loves those. And I'm like, I want numbers. I don't care about badges. I'm good with just a unit bar to, you know.
They got pretty busy, didn't they?
Yes. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to play this, because I can't look across the map. I'm just going to see a bunch of gobbledygook, and I'm going to have to, like, you know, get right on top of the counter. And I was like, it's not going to, that's not going to work.
I didn't like
that's why you should love Assault Red Horizon, since all the counters are clean. None of the information.
I do. I think Assault Red Horizon is a very neat little game, and that would definitely be in one of the top 5 that I would talk about for the year. Right. I think that was a really neat design. Components were fantastic. I mean, they were really top shelf.
And lots of expansions coming out.
Yeah, and they're really pumping out the expansions for those, and they're really building them up. Another thing that I would say would be top 5 is when it comes to top 5 publishers, for example, one that I would say that is getting up to speed into sprint mode, that if you're not already paying attention to them, you should. VUCA Simulations. Yeah. They are putting out just amazing quality games, and they're going to change what people's expectations are of war games when it comes to quality. So component quality. The games are really good too. As much as me and Kev have picked on Boog River, it was not in a negative way. It was more of we really do like this game, but we have some problems with the system. But I still think it's a really good game. Sure. I think it's a very good game. So,
but they reached out to everybody too, right? Like all the bigger name wargame reviewers, they reached out to and like, hey, help cover the stuff. So it wasn't just them producing a bunch of stuff. They were doing everything they could to get their name out there as well. Yeah. And the one thing I was kicking myself for is they sent me 3 games, and I was like, all right, let me pick one of them to cover real quick. And I picked Donnerslag, and it seemed like everybody picked Donnerslag to cover. That one got massive coverage, but the other 2, like Boog River, and what was the other one they sent?
Knock Paris or whatever.
No,
something like that. Yeah. But it seemed like no one covered those 2.
So we have, is Kharkov pronounced Harkov? And Meander and Mike said it's a hard H, so it's guttural, so it's Kharkov, like that. So it's kind of like that's how you pronounce it. But we're in America, and so we say Kharkov. It's like this reminds me of one of my favorite commercials, the old Taco Bell commercial with the lions in the Serengeti, and they're like, they got they got the carne asada. And he's like, I like to say it like Ricardo Montalban. He's like, the other line's going, carne asada, not saying carne asada. I just love that commercial. So stupid, but it was fun. So it kind of reminds me of that when it comes to pronunciation. But then you have Kiev, and then now you have Kyiv. So there's a lot of things there to confuse people.
Yeah, and sometimes when you've been saying a word a certain way for, I don't know, 50 plus years, it's really difficult to make the adjustment and change that. So it is what it is, right?
True.
Going back to Victory Roads, we played that a couple of times in a team of 4, 2 players on each side, and enjoyed the game. We found it to be just pretty much a massive blowout, and it really wasn't a lot of fun for the German player. Whereas Liberty Roads was just a really finely balanced game. I think I thoroughly enjoyed that. I've played that several times, and I've actually got that expansion, the Roundhammer expansion. So I want to try and explore that 1943 invasion and see what would happen there. So just whoever was asking that question earlier on, I have written about it on my blog, I think both Liberty Roads and Victory Roads, I think, but definitely Liberty Roads I've written about. In fact, I've posted Vassal playthroughs from my play with one of my buddies. Just FYI. Anyway, not to take us off topic.
So. No. That's always interesting to hear, people's different experiences with games. I do have one quick question. Is Tom still here? Because he's going to want to get in on this one. Shelf of Shame for Stigler is Jaws of Victory. He really wants to play that, but he just can't get the time to do it. Now, reason I asked if Tom is still here, because he's a huge fan of Jaws of Victory, and he's actually played it numerous times, including with the designer Milt. So a couple times, I think. So he's very involved in that game, really likes it. So definitely talk to Tom. He'll give you all of the insider scoop on it, and he will be, I think, nope. He stepped out. He just messaged me. He stepped out. So, but I will let him know that you're looking to play that, and maybe you two can hook up, and he can kind of give you a little tutorial on how to play, and get you going on it, because it's an involved game. It's a pretty neat game. I've played just a little bit of it, enough to know that I really need to go back and explore it. It's a fun game.
Stigler and I actually are planning to play Nacht Paris.
Not Paris?
Yeah, whatever it's called. Nacht something, whatever it is. 1918, 19, whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You got that, right?
Paprika. Yeah. Yeah, they sent it to me.
Stuka Joe, the legend. Sorry. Stuka.
It was challenging, so we're going to get together and try and play.
Nice. Now we got Sergio saying his best game of the year is Atlantic Chase, Shelf of Shame, Vietnam GMT. Very good time with Absolute War. I think Vietnam is on pretty much everyone's Shelf of Shame. Even the people who have played have only scratched the surface, because it's a game that requires a lot of time.
I've played 3 scenarios and barely scratch the surface.
That's true. But let's see here. Stigler says he seems to have bounced hard off Vietnam. Why is that, Stigler? I'm going to try to catch on. Doesn't matter my nationality. I'm going to be the ugly insert nationality here anyway. So it's all in the looks, baby. Let's see.
Great.
Yeah, but you're friendly. It makes up for it.
There you go. Duck Overlord. Compass is my personal #1 publisher. So apparently he likes the games from Compass, which is always great.
Well, they're the only ones publishing anything with any regularity.
This is
War
true.
games anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Stuka Joe is here, as you were saying, Gimpy.
Did you not just see me bowing to the legend?
That's why I said, as you were saying. Okay, so Todd was saying, real quick, if you can, what was the top concern with the Boog River game? Well, real quick. Activations, determining activations.
Too many die rolls to
Yeah.
play a game. That was my problem.
It took It took a while. Oh, is she going to come in here and talk about? Oh no. Hey, buddy.
Muffin.
It's the astronomer.
I got my haircut. Look.
Nice. You look like phase 1 recruit.
Bye.
Love you.
See you, buddy. Merry Christmas.
No weird noises. Get out of the camera.
He's so cute.
Don't get weird. I like how you're saying don't get weird. You ever watch your own videos?
Dude, he's gotten into YouTube stuff recently and TikToks, and they're making like weird noises, and he copies them, and it's becoming a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's true. So we've got continue on with what you were saying.
I don't know, what was I saying? You said something. I said too many die rolls.
Yeah, too many die rolls with the activations, because you had to determine what your unit was going to be and then roll to see how many activations you got, and it sounds fast, but it's not, and it went longer than it should. And I get they're going for randomization, and I like that. I just wish there was a faster way of doing that. They need to streamline that system. And then of course the whole what was that? What's that?
Activation tracking?
No, not the the activation tracking too, but then there was also the rule that we broke on the first turn, where you had the when you pushed a unit back, they retreated. They ended up disrupting everybody, and it was they would disrupt. They would fall back, disrupt everybody. If they were overstacked, they would disrupt everybody in the stack. They would have to continue on, and the way the units are laid out at the very beginning, it ended up where it was pretty easy to have them bounce from one place to the next and leave a string of disrupted units. And we were like, okay, we got to be playing this wrong. And it turns out, no, you guys are playing it right. And it's like, whoa, that's broken. I mean, that literally is broken. It needs to be, here's the adjustment. Here's a quick, what I would recommend as a fix. And they were like, no, that's the rule the way it is. And I was like, oof. So hopefully that no one else runs into that. But if you ever want to go see what we're talking about, you go watch the first video of Boog River, and Kev says, I'm coming across the river. And I said, no, you're not. And I run it with my tanks and knocked them back and created a whole string of mayhem. So
yeah, you did. That's for sure.
That was funny. But I was surprised that they said that never came up in any of their testing. I was like, wow, that's kind of funny that it never came up in your testing. And that was literally the first move of the game, for us. But hey,
is that bad on you or bad on them?
I think it's just the confluence of events, just the way it worked out. Maybe in their testing they didn't run into it, and just when we did it just turned out that way. But
someone probably did smarter attacks than I did, so there's a very very high percentage chance that was the case, right?
I think it really wasn't smarter attacks as much as I think they knew already that was a problem. So don't have your units in a situation where you're going to run into that. Right. But the way I read the rules and you read the rules or the scenario, it was like, wow, you really don't have any other place to put them. So that was the problem there. Stigler, the retreat trail of tears. That is a perfect way of putting it.
Thanks, Steve.
2023 game is the War Europe, 1939 to 45 by Compass.
Ooh.
Boog is part of the Activation Leader series. Yes, it is. Retreat Domino. Yeah, that's very true. And then Charles says he got through 3 turns of Boog, took some Tylenol, and he put the game up. And yes,
he's great.
This is another one that is, I would say, top 5 of the year, easily for everybody. Most fearful sacrifice.
It's ridiculous how popular and how much coverage and how much buzz there is about that game. It's a monster Gettysburg game, and it's being covered by everybody and being talked about by everybody. It's fantastic, right? When was the last time that happened? Usually a Gettysburg game comes out, or one of these
one
sort of mid-range monster games comes out, and people are like, oh, it's great, you're good. What's the next newest solo game? Everyone is raving about that system. Yeah. Congratulations to Herman for that. It's a fantastic system.
It's all about the system for that game. It really doesn't matter what the units are, because I'm not a Civil War guy, but the mechanics of the game were so good. I was like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
So good. So
and the other
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the other thing about it is what you were talking about with Civil War games. If anybody's ever seen Red October, you'll get the little joke. It's like, you've launched another Civil War game when you lost another submarine. You know, it's like, how many more Gettysburg games can there be? But this is one that is universally, like you were saying, Kevin, universally has been lauded. And that is a big pat on the back and big thumbs up for Herm.
Yeah. So the map's great. System's great. The components are good.
Oh, another giveaway.
Should we give a giveaway?
Sure. Yes. What giveaway?
Yeah. What you got?
Let's do this.
Because I got a good one.
Amateurs 2 arms. The War of 1812.
Nice.
Doesn't happen very often.
We are going to do it.
But unpunched. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, it is unpunched.
Hashtag amateurs, the number 2 arms.
Wow. Make sure you spell it right, boys.
Yeah, I was going to say, make it a pain in the ass, why don't you?
I did on purpose. Only the people who really want it will do it. Apparently nobody wants it. We have 0.
That's because they're still typing it.
Come on, guys. You're war gamers. You can type out amateurs.
Come on. Period style map. It's beautiful. It's got stuff going on.
That's one of the words I can never spell without like spell check.
What, period?
No. Fuck off.
See, what you need to do is you probably do what my wife does when it comes to texting people. She'll get a word that she doesn't know how to spell, amateurs, you know, like for example, she'll hit the microphone and go, amateurs. And then let it auto spell for her. So she does it all the time. So we're up to 18 so far.
Now, usually the spell check on the computer hits as you type it in, you know, amateurs blonde or redhead or, you know, whatever it is.
Well, your problem with spelling amateurs is probably like it threw you off that there wasn't a CH in there. Amateurs.
No.
CHURS.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, where the hell are you going?
Hashtag marine spelling. Autocorrect is not pleased with this.
Amateurs. Yeah.
Look at
I mean, it's taken them a minute just to type it in.
Yes, that's why I'm letting it go. We have 24 entries. I'll give it another minute, and then we will get the drawing going here.
I'm going to do something easy for my next one. Something like hashtag most sucks or something real easy.
You remember, I'm writing it out, so I'll just be like, I'll write something better. All right, so we got 25, another 30 seconds, and we'll kick it off and see who the next gift receiver is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful map. Too.
Hashtag sausage fingers. William Aaron.
If someone hashtags that, does that replace whatever they typed in? Let's say they entered, right? They typed it in. If they type in a joke hashtag, does it take away their actual hashtag?
No. And that's what happened at the Compass giveaway thing the other day is I actually typed in town hall. Normally I put in something like clown hall or possum town hall. I'll do it as a joke just to do like everybody else is doing. And I actually put in town hall and of course I won. I was like, oh, I can't win those. Okay, so we are going to close this out. 27 entries. We're going to hit draw. See who wins. Amateurs to Arms from Kev Sharp from the big board. Congratulations to Charles Latora.
Oh, my boy. Oh,
isn't that his second one?
No, he didn't get one yet.
That's nice.
Not tonight. So
Charles, Charles, send me an email.
I mean, it wouldn't matter either way. So
no. So Charles wins Amateurs to Arms. Gimpy, you got one?
Yes, I do. And you guys will be happy with this one. This is going to be a new and shrink wrap copy of Lanzareth Ridge. Nice. Probably my favorite of the Valiant Defense series. And this one I got because DVG made a goof and sent me 2 copies. So you guys get to benefit from that. And we're going to have it as something simple. We'll do, in honor of my boy Stuka being here, we'll do hashtag legend.
There you go. I already did hashtag Gimpy.
Oh, all right. Hashtag
It was
Gimpy.
up on the,
The
it was
next
up
one
on
will
the
be
screen the whole time.
well, I wasn't looking. I was putting the game down. So the next one will do hashtag legend in honor of the Stuka.
Nice.
Why don't you just do hashtag Stuka then?
There you go.
It's because it's not just Stuka; it's the legend Stuka.
The legend.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
like
I'm saying he was
Gimpy.
doing his videos back in the day before I even started. Like he was
That's
one
true.
of the ones I watched just to learn on how to start my own channel. And he was quality back then. You know, he stayed quality all throughout.
Oh yeah. No,
It is
absolutely. No, Joe does his videos are like the measuring stick for the rest of us. And he really puts a lot of effort into it. He's got a great setup. It just has evolved over the years, and
he has a fantastic voice.
Yes, it is. That is really critical too. People don't realize the whole presentation, because you can have great video skills. You could be like Spielberg and have this awesome setup, and then you're like, "Hey guys, we're going to talk about this Stalingrad game today." It's like, who the hell is, dude? Put a filter.
Oh, I
on
know
your
who
voice.
that is.
No, just anybody. You know.
Oh, no, that's not anybody. That's a somebody.
Is it?
Hey, what's up, Doc?
No.
Hey,
Remind me after
let
that,
me
too.
tell you about it. It's a game. It's a fabulous. I got a lot of sauce here for you and some meatball.
Oh boy, that's not what I was talking about. But hey, you guys ran.
Yeah, he should be a radio show host or something, man.
Yeah, no, he definitely does a great job. Thanks for what you do, Joe. We really appreciate it. We hope you keep doing it, and you're a great inspiration for the rest of us.
I bet you he is. I bet you he does a radio show in Puerto Rico or Florida. Where is he living now?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rico.
Okay. No, I kind of thought he moved. Maybe
no. I think he's still there. All right, so we are done with this one. We're at 25. I'm going to hit the draw. So if you're going to type in hashtag Gimpy right now.
Fango Wolf just did the last one, I think.
All right, here we go.
All right, run it.
And the winner is Fango Wolf.
Fango Wolf.
Oh, that's too funny.
Coming into
Lance wins one. Nice. Congratulations, Lance.
So, usual, email me. It's in the description of all the videos. Give me the details.
Kilroy, I was not talking about you. That is not you. You're more like, it's your tempo is different. You don't sound anything like that at all. I was just making up a voice, you know. And that's one of those things. If you have a terrible voice, that does affect your presentation, and it will make people go, holy crap. It's like Kev has that Australian accent, so people dig that, you know. So I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway here.
Oh, whole collection.
What you got?
Stalingrad.
Oh, that is an awesome one. I regret giving that one away. I did a trade on that back in the day, and I regret doing it. I shouldn't have given that one away.
Really?
That's a great solo game.
Yeah, back when what was it? The Facebook group, the buy one get one, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, the
pass it on.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. Yeah, pay it forward. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I did it with one of those. I actually regret that one.
Stalingrad Disco Inferno. This is the 70s version.
Exactly. Glitter and flared pants, whatever, like bell-bottom pants, right?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, though, Kev, I got one of your favorites, a Great Battle game out of it.
Oh, really?
The not Spartacus, the Roman one. I can't remember the name of it.
That narrows it down. SPQR.
Alexander.
Oh, Alexander. That's a good deal.
Yeah. I got Alexander out of it. So, yeah, it was a good one.
I really like that in Stalingrad Inferno. I just love the way that simple AI works.
So, Kev, apparently
Sean Connery.
You sound like Sean Connery, according to Brian Patterson's wife.
One ping only.
Actually, he does a little bit, doesn't he?
One ping only, please.
Can you make fun of Alex Trebek?
Alex Trebek? I'll take no, I can't for 1,000, Alex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't do that one.
No, I'm talking about the Saturday Night Live where they did the skit where Sean Connery's always, ribbing at him.
No, I didn't see that one, but
I haven't seen that.
Oh, look it up. It's hilarious.
Brace yourself, Miss Moneypenny.
Miss Moneypenny. All right, so we are at 39 entries. Apparently, everybody wants this. You know what? After Gimpy talked it up, you know what? On second thought, I'm withdrawing. No, I'm only kidding.
Have you played it? Have you not even played it?
Yeah, I have. And it kind of, I was like, okay, played it, and I played it. I played it a couple times, and I was just like, it was a neat system, but I've not played it since. So it's time to pay it forward and
let it go.
Let someone else enjoy it. So here we go. 39. We'll do the draw. And the winner is Meandering Mike. You are the winner. So Meandering Mike will get Stalingrad.
You better cover it on his channel.
Yes, and now you can put it on your channel. I expect to see it on your channel here pretty soon. I'm just kidding. You can if you want to. You definitely can.
Did you have one left, Kev?
I do.
You hit yours, and then I'll hit my last.
You can do it. Yeah. Okay.
No, go ahead and hit yours, and then I'll do my last one. We'll just do this little circle here.
Be that way. That's fine. Let's do hashtag World War One or WW1, easy one for Empires and Alliances from Compass Games. Brand new, not in shrink, but brand new.
Nice.
Unpunched, etc. So I am I was curious to get this to the table. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly. Wardrobe. Someone gets it.
Hashtag WW1.
Rob, where you been? This is like the 12th game we gave away, bud.
Stuff being given away for free. This is Christmas. This is our gift to you guys for tuning in. And
I want to know if this Octavian dude is the Octavian from Board Game Geek. And if he is, we need to kick him.
Yeah, Octavian. Are you Octavian from BGG?
Yeah, I already texted. He didn't respond, and we should just pay him back for all the grief he's given Wargamers over the last 10 years. Here's one for you. Bye bye.
Oh, look at this! 29 entries already, and he says he's not.
Yeah.
You might want to make sure that
story.
You may want to make sure that you preface that with anytime you run into anybody who's on PGG.
No, and of course, he's obviously a war gamer, so he wouldn't be that guy.
Let it snow. Let it snow.
I don't even like Saturday Night Live. My wife watches it, but I like the Sean Connery skits. It's the only thing worth watching.
Well, we have no control over the random draw. That's why we're doing that. Not that, Octavian. That's true. Okay, so we are at 31 entries, and this is a really fast, easy one to type in there. So make sure that you type in hashtag WW1 in the next few seconds if you want to win this one, because we are going to draw now.
And it must be in the USA.
You must be in Cornish.
I'll be damned. You actually do sound like him a little bit.
And the winner is Vault-Tec. Congratulations. One ping only, please.
I was pulling for John.
So Vault-Tec, congratulations. You get the game from Kev. He will get your information. You send it over to him. He will get you out that game. And now we're going to go to
Gimpy.
He's going to...
It's legend. We got to honor the great Stuka.
Hashtag legend.
Now, this one I do not have on hand. The publisher is sending it out for me. So again, it'll be a brand new copy. And absolutely make sure you include your email address or your phone number on this one, rather, because I know he has to have it for shipping for whatever reason, for whatever shipper he uses. It is Reality Shift from Academy Games. It is their latest racing game. and it didn't actually get a whole lot of coverage. It should have got more because I love it. My kids are obsessed with it. But it's the one that has a whole bunch of cubes, and you have your little racers and cards and dice, and you're moving across and you try to get to the finish line. But you can cause the racetrack to shift, and it'll rotate around and squish other racers and do all that cool stuff. Really fun racing game. If you're into racing games, definitely one to check out. And Academy Games was nice enough to toss this one up as a giveaway for all you guys.
Oh, that sounds like a really cool war game. I mean, Euro.
See, now John is an exception to the CONUS rule because he is still shipping the CONUS. He said, Thanksgiving, my heart skipped or stopped because I thought I was going to win. Because he has a stateside shipper that we would, if we were to send anything to him, would go, because I have in the past sent games to him in California, and then it gets shipped to him later on. So it's it works for him very well, which is fantastic. So
yeah, if Stuka won this one, I would have to chuckle all that one.
So hashtag legend, as we have 21 entries so far. And if I win, this is rigged. Nice.
I mean, if Stuka wanted it, I mean, Uva would send it to him anyway.
I would hope that my last one that I'm going to give away, that Joe would win, because I did win on his channel, so it's only fair that he wins. But we don't rig these things seriously, because we can't. We're doing a random draw. But I won Donnerslag from him. He actually ended up with 2 copies, so he gave one away, and everyone's like, "How the hell do you not have a copy already?" Because they gave it to like everybody. Apparently, they didn't have me on that list, so it was great though, because now I have it. That's one of the games I'm going to check out over.
Have you ever noticed something? If someone sends me something, they don't send it to you, and if they send you something, they don't send it to me.
And if both of you get it, neither I don't.
Yeah, I swear to God, it seems like if you guys get something, I don't get it, but if I get it, y'all don't get it.
I think we all live in the same house. They're on the same show. They're in the same house. No, we're in different areas of the country.
Those guys are too honest.
Oh, it's in Oregon now. So his shipper's in Oregon. They moved the warehouse so we don't have to pay sales tax. Oh, that's even better.
That's good stuff.
That's awesome, John.
Good for them.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic deal.
You know, if someone was getting a lot of stuff from America, they should do the same thing so they can get it without all the BS.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a little slower.
That he uses.
Yeah, John, what is that company? For anybody overseas that would like to follow suit and use a third-party shipper, because they can buy it, have it shipped to California, and then you get the slow boat, but okay, you might have to wait 2 or 3 months, but you're getting it at a much cheaper rate, and you are getting the game. So
it gives you at least the CONUS address you could use for a multitude of reasons.
Yes, right. You're not spending $600 on shipping, because it is insane. Okay, so we're ready at 26. We're ready to go. Here we go.
Alan goes to Malaysia and Philippines.
Oh, that sucks.
Wow. And the winner is
Racist.
Look at Joe. No, I'm only kidding.
And see, that's why I hate this thing. It stalls on a name, and then you think it stops there, and then it kicks over. It's like one of those, like, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Your microphone's muted or quiet. Something's going on.
Minus?
That's better. Hold it closer. Your beard is in the way.
Your beard is acting like a windsock.
Yes. So Kilroy, didn't Kilroy win one of my others too?
I don't recall. Are you not keeping track?
Fuck if I know, dude. My memory's shit. I think Kilroy won one of them. So Kilroy, send me your details. Or no. Well, yeah, send me your details, and I will get them over to Academy Games, and it will come from Academy Games, not me.
Nice. Well, I've got one more giveaway. This one I do have a copy on hand, but I'm not going to be sending this. I'm going to be having it shipped to you. Men of War, Forward Together. This is Rhodesian Bush War. This is a book game. I've already covered it on the channel. So
kind of like Lone Sherman?
Kind of a similar deal. So I'm going to tell you it's hashtag Salute Scouts, and I know no one will be able to spell that, so I'm going to put it up there, and that's how you spell it. For the copy of Men of War, Rhodesian Bush War. It is a tactical level game. It's solitaire, and if you're into the book games, you'll definitely like to check it out because I've read it. Like I said, it did a couple of videos on the channel. One was the preview of it. The second one was a quick playthrough. You can either write down on the paper or you can create your own counters.
Yeah, Mike. Hilarious.
What'd he say?
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. Nice.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that. I like Brussels sprouts.
Oh.
Me too.
A little butter, a little salt, pepper.
Yeah, I like to cook them in bacon grease.
Greg, I typed it out, so it is definitely marine friendly. But you know, it's not. I guess you're more amateurish, like Gimpy would write with the CH. You are ISH.
That's on my head here.
Chimichanga. Come on, people. Lots of garlic. All right. So we've got 23 entries. This is going to be shipped to you. So there is a good chance that this will arrive before Christmas, because one of the things about this is it's print on demand. So when I place the order, it will be printed out at the closest print shop to you, or the printing, not shop, but the printing office that they use for print on demand. So mine was very close. I got it like the next day. So I was like, wow, that was pretty awesome. So within 2 days. Yeah. So within 2 days, you'll probably get it. I was expecting 2, maybe 3 days, and it showed up the next day. I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome.
How much you want to bet when we get done with this last giveaway, the viewership's going to go?
Oh, yeah, of course. So we're at 23.
Let's not tell them it's the last giveaway. I might have one more. Who knows?
Or 4 more. Okay, we're at 23. We're going to draw now. And the final winner is...
Oh, so close. Sorry, John.
Craig Robertson. Craig Robertson, you are the winner. So email me at mofantasy@gmail.com. I had posted it in the chat. Let me do it again. I did not. I did it a little... Did it anti-bot.
I gotta say, this is our biggest set of giveaways in the 3 years we've done.
Yeah, we've done a bunch.
I think we only did, a handful.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. It's good to pay it forward, as Mo said, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
Just hang out and chit chat with the guys. The guys are asking great questions and commenting and joining in the fun.
And that's, this is the last show of the year. I mean, we're going to be back in a couple of weeks anyway, in about 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks or whatever. We're going to be back for our next show. But this is the last of 22, and this is the end of our 3rd full year. We start off year number 4 in January. So we wanted to kind of end the year on a really high note, give you guys a bunch of gifts because it is Christmas week, and happy Hanukkah to our Jewish viewers as well. We don't want to forget that there are other holidays outside of Christmas. So, and Merry Festivus, I think it is, or Happy Festivus, whatever it is for those who do the Festivus thing.
That's great.
So you still say Christmas.com.
That's marine friendly. There you go.
Yep. Oh, I do have one bit of good news.
For you have another giveaway?
No giveaway. I am actually starting up a separate channel. We've already filmed some content for it, and the missus is going to.
You're going to do a stripper channel finally?
No, we're going to do a talk channel because she enjoys getting on there with me and chatting about a wide variety of topics. We've got a few already done, so stay tuned. I'm going to have a little announcement video on my channel, letting you guys know about it here soon when we finish up finalizing a few more pieces. So we would appreciate it, any of y'all who are subscribed already, to pop over there and subscribe and see what we got going on.
So what are you going to be doing?
Generally pissing people off, because we're going to talk about everything, stuff, current events, entertainment, politics, little bit, all the.
You're going to run right at that minefield.
Oh yeah, aren't you? Yeah, a lot of controversy. Everything I want to say but I don't say, I'm going to say there. like all that good stuff. But the way it's going to work is she's going to like bounce off. So I'm going to look at things from kind of
when
like
did we have the airing of grievances?
Aspect. She'll look at it from the emotional aspect.
When did we have an airing of grievances? I don't remember that.
I've got lots of grievances. That's why
we have not done an airing of grievances.
We need to have one.
Thanks, Brandon. Really appreciate that. Yeah, that'll end well.
No, it's not just that. You know, a bunch of different things. Like one of our first topics that we're covering is civil asset forfeiture. All right. I hate that. I have never agreed with it. If you're going to have the government take something from you, you need to go through due process. You need to be charged with a crime. You need to be convicted of said crime, and then punishments doled out. You shouldn't have assets taken from you at the side of the road, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Let's see. Craig Robertson says, if your gamers, the airing of grievances occurs when 2 or 3 of us are gathered together, or when we have a couple of war gamers say that column shift to the right is stupid. Because then we start bitching about the CRT, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it is that's a good topic, and that is definitely going to be interesting to watch you guys chat about that. Definitely not something for Whiskey Charlie, because we keep it light. And I just realized, because of this thing that I've got here where it uses the background, my microphone is right here and it's disappeared. That's actually kind of cool. I have an invisible microphone. Oh, now it's back. That's kind of funny.
Speaking of new, I also have that narrative writing page. I'm going to post the link to that. If you're interested and you want to read the narrative stuff that comes out of the games I play and experience, go check it out. I'm trying to move everything off over to there.
Put it in the private chat,
and just do video and reviews and impressions and stuff on my old on my regular YouTube channel and my regular blog. So
I don't see it in the I don't see it in the chat.
Or is that there we go.
It didn't post up, Kev.
It didn't post up. So go ahead and put it in the private chat. Because I think that's one of the problems. I have to look into correcting that so I'll add it for everybody. But yeah, I mean, Kev does a lot of really great narrative stuff. He enjoys doing the narrative stuff. He does the written stuff that Nate does the talking stuff. And, you know, Nate will talk about these things, and you can hear the excitement in his voice when he's talking about different games and the narratives that are generated, or the problems that he's found or whatever. And that's where I think it's going to be great to have that channel that you and your wife are going to do, where you're going to have, we're going to be talking about all these different things. And
explore topics, right?
Yeah.
No, and Stuka, we did not talk about New Year resolutions for the hobby, with the exception of making sure that we put down that, oh, hun, that's a Kickstarter I ordered, or the publisher sent me that one. I promise.
Don't worry about it. She does the same thing when she says, "Don't worry, it was on sale." When she comes in with more clothes, they were all on sale. The shirts were clearance, $5. Yeah. Add a 0 after the 5. That's what they were each.
Exactly.
Dude, she'll go out to get a gallon of milk and come back and she's got bags. And I'm like, what the hell? You were getting milk.
Yeah.
That's funny. You know what our first show is going to be next year, right? It's going to be reviewing the Charlies.
Oh, yes, yes. They should be up by then.
Yeah. On Sunday, right?
Is it this week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it wasn't going to be announced. I thought did they announce it? I thought they were going to be announcing it soon.
The CSRs they're going to announce after the holidays.
Well, they said, I thought I saw something that said Christmas Day. So,
that could be that would be pretty cool on Christmas to see that come out. That would be a nice gift for everybody to, and it'd be great for all content creators, because then we have more stuff to talk about.
Commentary.
Well, it was kind of late. It was done by this time last year.
Yeah, but a little bit different this year. It's a learning experience trying to organize things differently and stuff. So, Kilroy says shooting for Christmas Day. All right.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, I know things changed around a little bit, so it probably
yes
explains the delay.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. Is the organization is changing. So I mean the organization of everything, it's the way it's being organized. So that's
and I think it'll evolve too. Yeah.
Had to slow down and explain that to you.
Look at the dude's name, man. I love that name. Well, you'll see it. You know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as you look at the chat. Man, I'm a kid. I know. It's just funny to me.
And this is true. You would think my front porch is an Amazon distribution center. Well, that's me too. These guys know me. They're like, oh yeah, here's more crap for the Fitzgeralds. And then Stigler, did you write the Vassal module for MBT? Question for you there. But no, William has a good point. There's nothing wrong with discussing issues and controversies. It's the most American thing to do. But I think what we're getting at is we don't generally do that here because we're trying to be a light show, fun show. Not that we don't, dig into wargaming topics, but we stick to wargaming. Sure. Because we don't want to have that. We don't want to cross streams because that's a bad thing. Yeah. And you're going to definitely upset people. And
important safety tip: don't cross the streams.
Yes. So it's better off to just stick to wargaming. The other stuff you can do on other channels and stuff, and that's great. But for here, we're trying to be all about the whiskey, the Charlie, and the wargaming chat. So hashtag Canadian iced tea. So, Meandering Mike says he can only have one man cave. So he needs to slow down purchases for 22 or 23. I'm sorry.
He just needs to move to a bigger cave.
Well, you can always trade out. You get a game and say, this game, I'm not crazy about it. So you just sell it off or donate it or whatever.
No, you just put the kids in the same room. Tell them they have to share now.
You can do that too. You can expand. Expansion.
Call it annexation.
How often do you really eat together as a family? Take over the dining room and put eat in the TV room.
I did that for a while actually. Company of Heroes. It was too big to fit in my office, so I had to do it on the dining room table. Nice. The acoustics are just horrible.
I don't want to open a can of worms, but did you really, in the very end, did you end up enjoying that game?
Yeah, I will agree with people when it comes to the critique of it, when it comes to the solitaire system, which thankfully they did revamp for the second edition, in the fact that there really wasn't a lot of replay value to it because it was static the way they had originally designed it. So for the next version, the second edition, they changed that so it's no longer static. So you can't anticipate exactly what the enemy's going to do. Sure, you might not know exactly what the enemy was, but you knew it was going to be infantry of some type or it was going to be a tank of some type, which really narrowed down the options. It made it too easy to kind of playing against the enemy. As far as the game went, I liked the game. I thought they did a good job translating it from a computer game down to a board game. They did better than Darkest Dungeon did. Darkest Dungeon was so bad I couldn't film it because the components were too dark. I actually had to cut my lights off. Otherwise, I couldn't film it because it was nothing but glare, even with ambient light instead of direct light on it. But that's not really a war game. That's a different type, but it just wasn't that good.
So he said he wanted to give a shout out to the creator of the MBT module. I love the implementation of spotting. And all I see on the MBT page is that it is maintained by Rob Doan, but it does not give who the actual Vassal authors are on the Vassal website.
Creator credit, right?
Yeah, and this is a good point too that Kurt says you can rebox games into boxes that say beef jerky or vegan bacon.
I like Stuka. The studio is the former family room. Who needs a family room?
There you go.
The games are your family.
Actually, he's done a studio tour on his channel, so that is always a fun thing to listen to him talk about the different aspects of his studio, the different tech he's using, as well as just getting a look at it. So cool. The other thing too is just as a heads up for those. Jim Day is the designer of that. I don't know if he did the Vassal module, but he designed MBT. I like Stuka's comment. DVG does not charge extra for the glare. there is the Armchair Dragoons digital convention that'll be happening in on Martin Luther King weekend in January. So if you are looking for another online convention to check out, definitely check that out. There'll be a bunch of demos. There'll be shows, interviews, things like that that'll be happening that weekend. So
is he going to Gamers Armory again?
I'm not sure if he's doing that again or not. That is something he hasn't said. I think he was talking about it, but he says he might have played it out. So I haven't heard anything new on that. But we'll check and see with him if he is. And if he is, you guys can meet up there and do like you did last time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I think we're going to wrap this one up about here because we've been going for 2:15 so far. And we were going to have a longer show tonight. We knew that because we had the presents to give out from all the elves to you guys. And then on top of that, end of the year, we were kind of just BSing about a whole bunch of different things. But next month, we will maybe we'll hit the resolutions for next month. And, you know, obviously, we'll be talking about what we're anticipating in 2023. Hashtag Aaron Armor and Red Strike. And
Combat Reprint Volume 1.
Combat 1 and 2. Because
I just got Combat out. Well, I got Combat 2 out. And it was a lot of good stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, I could see wanting to get Combat out. But is the second edition or second volume or the reprint of Volume 1, is it that much different from the first one?
Totally different. Absolutely 100% different. No, I'm only kidding. It is upgraded. There are changes made to the graphics and things like that. So,
but nothing like you have to get it.
No, you don't. You can play the first one that you have. If you have Combat 1, the original printing, you can play that 100%. What they did with they updated the map graphics to match Volume 2, and then they redid the counters because there were some problems with the counters the first time. It was done by a different printer. So basically now the new first volume will match the counters from the second as far as like ease of punching, things like that. So,
well, I'm looking forward to checking out like really getting into Combat
work
too.
Because
they've got the tanks and bazookas, and the campaign, being able to level up your troops, basically. You know, that RPG element.
David's son is doing a long campaign. He's using all YouTubers' names for the characters and stuff like that.
Who's doing that?
David's son, you know that guy?
Oh yeah. Nice.
The Kiwi dude. Yeah, he's super cool guy. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice. I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to sit down and watch all that. And so yeah, and like I said, go ahead and talk about what you got coming up on your channel, Nate.
Oh, my channel, shit, everything. I am going to be doing
amateur.
I had to brain fart into what I was doing. I got sent a press kit for Slithering Games and a lot of stuff they've got going on. So I'm going to be doing a reaction to that. I've got the next part of the advanced tutorial for Flashpoint Southern Storm, or Flashpoint Campaign Southern Storm, and Captain C and The Long Road is going to be up, as well as Enemy Action Kharkov, and hopefully some Combat ! 2 when I can get that one. And plus there's a couple of Kickstarters that are delivering Empire Downfall or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. And Tin Helm, which is a tiny little tin game I'm looking forward to trying out. So a little bit of everything.
Is that all?
No, it's actually not.
6 actual. I posted up amateur as Nate would spell it, and then I guess 6 actual is trying to be German amateur. Stay with the World War II theme.
That's funny.
What about you, Kev? What do you got coming up on your channel?
Oh man, for the new year, I really don't know, but I do have Third World War going, so I'm playing a campaign game of that, where I'm writing that up as we go. So I've got the first 3 posts ready for that. I've got Auerstadt report coming, a couple of GBOH reports coming, a whole swag of World at War, The Long Road, and a bunch of other stuff, write-ups, local and low tactical write-ups. So like they'll be more story format. But gameplay-wise, I'm looking here and trying to work out with my format, now in a small space for the time being, what I'm going to hit. So I don't know. So stay tuned and we'll work it out. 2023 will be interesting. Let's just say that.
Nice. Well, I've got a video coming out on Third World War storage that John and I were talking about a couple weeks ago that I'm going to post up there and explain to him, because he's got his now all in the box. He used a combination of baggies and containers that he's using, but I'm showing him how he can do it all with 3 GMT counter trays, how it can be done, and it works like a champ. So I'm going into that, and then I'm also going to be releasing the next Learn to Play, which is going to be World War II Commander Battle of the Bulge by John Butterfield. We're going to do it during the Bulge, so the time frame of the Bulge. That'll be released tomorrow. And then I've got a couple of others. Expect to see some new releases here pretty soon getting looked at as well. And then while I'm on my vacation time, I'm going to try to you keep jacking around with your mic. I keep hearing.
Oh, sorry. I was pigeon.
I know you were fiddling when everybody could hear it. Everyone's like, what the hell is that? And then I'm going to, like I said, probably get some plays in during the vacation. That's the plan, is to just play more than actually try to work on content. But I'm probably going to do some content in there as well. Just can't help but do it. And then Brian, he says a Band of Brothers South Pacific ships in January. So I'm curious about that one, because I kind of wrote that system off a while ago, and now I'm curious because I want to see how they handle bonsais. I want to bonsai attacks. I want to see how if they do anything different, like spider holes and snipers and jungle combat, how that works compared to Band of Brothers, the original. So hopefully that one will be a little bit different. And
hey, when does Carrier from Compass Games release? Because I'm really looking forward to that one too.
That comes out in 2023.
Yes, but
when I don't know.
When sooner rather than later.
Ask Bill during the Thursday night shows. He'll tell you it'll be 2023, first, second quarter, third quarter, whatever.
What about that super detailed one that they? That the guy was working on. He was going to do a multi battle carrier game. It was going to be flat top on steroids. That guy, what was his name? Dang it!
Beneath Southern Cross.
Yeah, because I think they're slimming that down and making it.
Yeah, that one was. He had that at Expo, and they were playing that. And that one, I think they were still working out some things out there. Yeah, because they were really. It seemed a little involved. So, I mean, it looks cool. And then Mike says, first quarter of 2023, he thinks. Ed says, Frog Kingdoms, I'm only kidding. Frog Kingdoms beta test signups are open. So if you're interested in that, Fango already signed up.
What is that?
Not sure. What is that?
A PC game?
Yeah, it's a PC game.
930 hours. Okay.
So Carrier Philippine Sea is late January or February 2023. So hopefully that will be the case, but we'll have to wait and see, because that can change. Anything can happen where it gets pushed back.
What about all the Desert Warfare games they had? They had a whole bunch. What's happening with all those?
No, they're still being
Sandstorm or whatever. Yeah, it's beta
Desert
right
Blitzkrieg
now.
And Fall of Tobruk. Those are all going to happen. Those are all going to happen. I would guess. Well, I know Tobruk is going to be next year, because that's already on the website. As far as Desert Generals, I think that one's getting. It looks like it's going to be going. Yeah, it's going to be going through the queue here, out to printing soon. So hopefully soon.
Well, and you know what? NBT's got their, or not NBT, but Panzer system has the new North Africa 40, I think North Africa module is up for printing, so that'll be cool. And Simonich has got his North Africa 41, which should be awesome, just because
it's Simonich.
Yeah,
that 40 series is just, or the 4X series. That's the best 4X series there is. When which 4X game you like? Simonich's.
Yes.
It's like when people say, what's the best 4X game? Anybody's Simonich. Those are fantastic systems. Who was that was asking about that? Duck, I think it was earlier, was asking about games. That would be one
a great intro. Yeah, like Salerno 43. I would definitely encourage that as an introductory. If you've played a war game before, then that is a place to go next.
Yeah, because that's small footprint, and it's not going to be a difficult system to understand. And it's a great entry point into the 4X series, 4D series from Simonich, because you learn that, and then you could just move it over to any game you want, and he covers pretty much all of them.
Yep.
Except I want to see him do Iwo Jima.
Ooh, interesting.
How that would work, though, with the Zokbon system. Don't know how that would work. It would be, I guess it would work when it comes to like
smaller
firing
scale, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to firing, like your firing lanes and stuff like that, like you do with the D-Day at series, I guess you could treat the Zokbons in that regard same way.
Right.
But it would be interesting. I don't know if he's ever thought about that, but yeah, hashtag Iwo Jima 45. So who knows? We'll see. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. We appreciate your support over the past 3 years, and we're looking forward to kicking off year 4 in next month in January. So everybody, make sure you have a very Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and a great and healthy new year to everyone. And we will see you all again in 2023. Have a great night, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.